I'm really hoping the audio is not too low. It might be. You'll have to bear with me on this first cast. Alright. Today, everybody, we are doing our first ever modern stream, or kind of modern stream. I don't remember when this game actually came out, but we're going to do Pillars of Eternity. We're going to start it. And I'm going to dive right into it here. Eternity 3.07 update. Deadfire items, new portraits. Deadfire themed, unique, and soulbound items from the sequel are now available here in the Eastern Reach. Additionally, new portraits are available in character creation. And no. Okay. So Pillars of Eternity. I have never beaten this game, but I have played it before. This was actually going to be the first ever game that I streamed. My poor laptop couldn't handle it back in the day. So this is kind of a return for me, trying to do it again. It's actually working this time. But I never did finish it up. I was doing a bunch of start and stops on it because I had some stuff going on a couple years back. And now I actually have time to do it. So we're going to do this from the beginning, because I don't remember what was going on. I have no idea really about anything with this. I don't really remember anything. I'm actually curious about something. It did in fact save my old data. Delete. Delete. Delete, because we're starting from scratch. Alright, new game. New game settings, easy difficult. I don't want to do it on easy. I'm not going to do it on hard either. We'll do this on normal. I'm a normal kind of guy, except Obsidian Entertainment presents Pillars of Eternity. I just realized I don't have a controller in my hand. It's the first game I've played purely on a keyboard, I think. No, then again, I did play System Shock a while back.
Five wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Sounds like I'm off to a great start. It's nice to have things voice acted and I don't have to like read everything the whole time. I can save my voice a little bit. Alright. Do I want to be a male or female? I'll be a male because I'm a guy. Humans are the most common race in the Deerwood, the Ader Empire, Old Valia, and the Valian Republics, although not as large as towering Amawua. I don't remember how you pronounce half these words. Humans are known for strength and willpower. Okay. The mighty Almorua are the largest of the Kith races and are commonly found in or near oceans, so not truly aquatic. They have an affinity for water, and many of their civilizations, such as Ruatai, are based on naval dominance. They are known for their unparalleled strength. Alright, dwarf. By virtue of land covered and number of colonies settled, dwarves are the most well-traveled race in the world. They are commonly found in the Deerwood, the Valian Republics, and almost any colonized land. Dwarves are known for their great strength and tenacity. Elves are the dominant race in Glanfath, and the White that wens and are extremely common in Deerwood and Adir. Elves are known for their speed and intelligence, and as well as a commonly isolationist nature. Orlins look like trees and are the smallest of the Kith races, and many cultures don't consider them to be civilized at all. Also notable for their large ears, two-toned skin, and hirsute bodies, Orlins are commonly found in Glanfath, the Milf Plains, and parts of Deerwood. They are known for their mental intensity and sharp senses, and godlike. Oh, it's a ram. Godlike are children of the Kith, civilized races who have been blessed with physical aspects associated with the gods, though some do not consider it a blessing. These aspects may take many forms and often come with mystical powers. Aberrant head shapes are typical, and godlike are unable to wear protective headgear. It is near impossible to find anything that fits. Because of their unusual nature and the inability to produce, godlike are often viewed with fear and wonder. Now, as far as I know, on normal, you can pretty much do this with any kind of group you want. And it doesn't really matter too much because I think there's like a character for every class. So I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with a human. Let's see. Savannah folk. Savannah folk come originally from the south of the equator, and with the exception of some groups that migrated north, remained in the same location for over 10,000 years. The name Natlath literally means original. While quite common in Red Saris, Savannah folk are not usually seen in the Deerwood and Valian republics. Fighting spirit, once per encounter, 5 seconds after being reduced below 50% endurance. Folk temporarily gain bonuses to accuracy and damage. Ocean folk. Ocean folk originated near the equator on the other side of the globe and are currently the most widespread human group in the region, but they have also migrated to the far reaches of the world. Ocean folk are the dominant culture in the Valian republics and are also common in the Deerwood. Okay, they also have fighting spirits. That must be something everybody gets. Most common humans in the Deerwood, the meadow folk, or the Tyrthian, have lived in that area for almost 2,000 years. Meadow folk traditionally live in the edges of elven forests, working in open plains, hence their name. Most humans in the Deerwood are Thyrtin. I'm going to go with Savannah folk because I have something in mind for who I'm going to be playing here. Fighters form the front line of disciplined armies across the Eastern Reach. Though they are most commonly found in cultures with an organized martial structure, fighters can also be encountered as wandering mercenaries, bodyguards, and other types of sellswords. Common element that unifies fighters in their heavy defense is their heavy focus on endurance and melee defense. Brutes, madmen, berserkers. Though city-dwelling people often use the term barbarian with a dose of disrespect, these royal warriors are respected by their communities for their ferocity and fearsome presence on the battlefield. Barbarians have a special, almost religious role in some cultures, but in many places, the undisciplined, fearless style of barbarians is simply how warriors conduct themselves. The starting ability, Carnage. When barbarians hit with melee attacks, they automatically make reduced damage attacks at all other enemies within a short distance of the target. So it's kind of like a area of effect. Athletics +2, survival, endurance represents. I'm not going to read everything here, but endurance represents a character's short-term survivability. Damage is not absorbed by a character's damage reduction. Goes straight to their endurance and health. Potions and healing magic can restore endurance in combat. When a character's endurance reaches 0, he or she will be knocked out. Okay. Health is long-term damage. Damage is not absorbed by a character's damage reduction goes straight to their health and endurance. When a health reaches 0, they are either maimed or killed. Maimed character who is reduced to 0 health will always be killed regardless of settings. Unlike endurance, characters' health does not get restored after combat, but characters have much larger health values than endurance values. Oh, so his health's actually 6 times endurance. Okay, I get it. Accuracy, that should make sense. Deflection. Resists direct melee and range attacks against a character that are not area of effect. It is defined by the character's class level and resolve. Okay. I think I'm going to go with a Barbarian. When I played this before, the little bit that I played it, I went through it actually with a fighter. But you end up getting a fighter early on. So I'm going to play something entirely different. We're going to go with a Barbarian. I'm a Barbarian from the Savannah. Barbarian abilities emphasize fighting groups of enemies in melee by increasing damage output, weakening the group, or granting the Barbarian bonuses when the situation looks grim. Frenzy. Oh, okay, I can only pick one. Frenzy. Sends the Barbarian to a frenzy state, granting a might, constitution, and attack speed bonus, but causing a deflection penalty against incoming attacks. While the Barbarian's frenzy is active, his or her endurance and health are concealed. Ah, so you don't get to see how much you're getting hurt then. Once per encounter. Speed average. Effects. User +4 might, +4 constitution, +33 attack speed. -10 deflection. Okay. And barbaric yell. That's a terrifying yell, frightening enemies in the area of effect. AoE frighten for 12 seconds. Now, frighten probably means that the enemies run away from you, and I hate when that happens because then you got to chase them down to kill them. So we're going to go with frenzy. I do remember seeing that perception is very important in this game. Perception represents a character's senses as well as their instinctive ability to pick up on details and interactions that can be used to catch someone in a lie, make an observant comment about their appearance, or notice something happening in the background. Combat contributes to accuracy, to reflex bonus, and grants a bonus to interrupt. Okay. So my perception can go up to 18. Okay. I wonder if I can change these at all later. Maybe I'll just make my perception 16. Because I want some might. I'm a freaking barbarian. I need to be able to hurt things. 18. I can respec later if I'm doing this wrong, thankfully. Wait a minute. No, not perception. Dexterity. Darn it. Dexterity is an abstraction of a character's hand-eye coordination, balance, and overall grace. In interactions, it can be used for sleight of hand and fast reactions. In combat, it affects the character's attack speed with all attacks, spells, and abilities, and contributes to the reflex defense. So it ups your attack speed. Okay. Constitution is a combination of the character's overall health and stamina, although it's not used much in interactions. It is sometimes checked to withstand pain or endure physically taxing ordeal. In combat, it affects maximum health and endurance and also contributes to the fortitude defense. Highly recommended for a barbarian. Oh. Well. So intellect, dexterity, constitution. Oh boy, okay. Well, I'll turn my resolve down 1. I'll give myself 1 more point of intellect. Wait a minute. Why is there gold stars next to that stuff? Maybe those ones are like super important. Alright. We'll wing this. If I'm doing this wrong, then I'm doing it wrong. Culture. The Adir Empire is currently the largest and most powerful force in this part of the world. It is centered around the equator and has a tropical climate. Though the empire has colonies in numerous areas of the world, greatest Adir is at its heart and houses the majority of its human and elven nations. Deadfire Archipelago, consisting of the nation of Nasitak, dozens of Amua settlements, and hundreds of lawless pirate-infested islands that stretch along the southern sea. It's home to boreal dwarves, Amua, and a mixed variety of other races. This last stop for anyone headed east, a multitude of monstrous sea creatures infested the ocean beyond, making travel virtually impossible. Located to northeast of Irglanfath, the Ixmitil Plains are a large expanse of fertile savannas that are extensively farmed by human and Orlan residents. The Ixmitil culture is one of the oldest in the world, although one of the least imperialistic, having spread out little over the past several thousand years. Old Valia, once a crown jewel of the southern seas, Old Valia is now the crumbled remnants of an empire of warring merchant nations, counting many humans and dwarves among their ranks. The old Valian countries are still forces to be reckoned with and are proud of their rich cultural heritage. Raltai, dominated by the Amwa nation of Raltai Gulf itself, is host to a number of nations. Most of them are Amra, Orlan, and Dwarven. Though these countries are relatively young, they are some of the most advanced colonial settlements in the east. The Gulf is a land of riches and resources for those who could take them, though the entire coast is often pummeled by violent storms. Living Lands is the mountainous region of a large northern island renowned for its diversity of plant and animal life. Its weather is unpredictable and its ecosystem varies dramatically from valley to valley. Living Lands are home to an assortment of races and a variety of colonial and independent settlements. And the White That Wends. A large, cracked southern expanse of polar ice, the White That Wends is home to pale dwarves and small colonies of daring explorers, outcasts, and adventurers. While virtually no plant life grows in the White, it's home to many hardy species of dangerous animals that forage from the sea or prey upon each other to survive. Well, I'm going by what my dude's dressed like. And these four, he's not looking very barbarian-ish. If that's a word. Probably isn't. So I kind of like the idea that he's from like a snowy area and he's dressed like freaking he doesn't give a crap about it. I don't want him to be a pirate. So I'm thinking let's do it. Background. Man, there's a lot of stuff to this. Aristocrat. You've lived your life amongst nobility. That's not it. Explorer. You find the siren call of the horizon irresistible. You cannot help but wonder what lies beyond the next hill or wave, and you've built your life around finding one. Laborer. Your life has been spent in the study of your craft. You train and prepared, hoping to hone your skills and apply your trade. No. I'm definitely not a mystic. Drifter. You never quite fit in no matter where you go. Each new town is just a place to rest briefly before moving on to the next. You are more comfortable on the road, traveling the world. Hunter. You live for the thrill of the chase. Whether for glory or for sustenance, you have made your living taking the lives of wild creatures. Or merchants. You've traded goods. Okay. I think I'm going to be a drifter. Maybe a hunter would make more sense for what I'm going for. It's going to be hunter, drifter, or explorer. I think I'm going to go with a... or be a hunter. I definitely don't look like this guy. Oh my god, there's a lot of portraits. Well, this must be like all those different other races. That's not me. Alright, I need a barbarian looking dude. I want to look as barbarian as possible. And that might be what I go with. Like that's definitely what I'm gonna go with because everybody else looks like they're some kind of creature race. All right, where's my barbarian at? I think it was like 40 something. Where am I at? Where am I at? There we go. All right, that's me. I totally look like a Conan ripoff, but that's okay. So my hair is gonna be blackish. I'll keep the same colors. Facial hair, none. Head. Ooh. Alright, that kind of works. Voice.
Mm-hmm. Watch and learn.
No.
Quietly now. I'm here.
I am not benevolent. I'm a damn barbarian.
Now I am the leader of the group. Bring them down! Keeping an eye out. What is it? Now I am the leader of the group.
Sinister, maybe?
Let's go. Keeping quiet. Huh? Follow me. Let's go. Nice and slow.
Stoic, maybe.
I've got this. Let's go!
Hell no.
I'll go on ahead. Ready when you are.
No.
Leading the way.
Alright, we're gonna go with Stoic.
Let's go.
Enter name. Oh god, I hadn't even thought about a name. Liquid. It's good enough for me. It's good enough for me. It's good enough for my barbarian. The caravan master finishes addressing the group, his bushy red mustache and sagging jowls quivering as if for emphasis.
Everybody stays close to the wagons, got it? Stay out of the woods, and beasts take you if you are planning a stroll through those ruins up there.
He nods toward a looming black mass on the hillside.
Whole area's crawling with hut-dwelling types who would be happy to stick an axe in you for trespassing. So mind that you don't track mud on their sacred blazing rocks. Tonight, everybody stays put, and in the morning we'll get the path cleared. Gilded Vale's less than a day out. Understood?
At last, the caravan master turns to you, frowning as he looks you over. Because he's jealous that he doesn't look as good as I do.
Touch of the rumbling rot, could be. There's a stinging beetle round here, carries it. You'll be fine once it passes your innards. Unless you don't drink water, course. Which case you'll be dead in a day. There's a berry grows in these parts, small and pink, called a springberry. About the size of a fingernail. Give you cramps if you eat it, but the frontiersmen make a tea from it. Calms the insides. Should get you through the night. You might check around, see if you can find some. Meanwhile, I'll see if we can scare you up some water. I know you want to hunt before it gets much darker, but see about refilling our water first. Got a sick one here.
Oh, he looks over his shoulder at his assistant, a lanky, intense man named Sparfell, who carries an old sun-bleached bow. Sparfell nods and slides the warm bow over his shoulder. Okay, let's see. Where would I find these berries?
They grow on a bush that's common round here, kind of funny looking. You'll know it when you see it. Doubt you'd have to go far off the road to find one.
What are those ruins?
Nothing you won't see on half the hills of Air Glonfoth. Money to be made selling their knickknacks in Defiance Bay, if you don't mind getting stuck with Glonfoth and arrows now and again. They didn't build them, but I'll be the effigy if they don't watch them like a mother bear. Of course, all the ones around here have been ransacked 10 times over. Got nothing left worth half a pawn, so I hear.
Your character's attributes, skills, class, race, culture, and sex may open up options for you in dialogue. So options are not necessarily superior, gives you a wide variety of choices. Okay. Who did build the ruins?
Got different names for them. Settlers called them Ingwithans. Nobody that liked them enough to stop them becoming ruins, tell you that much.
Is it dangerous out here?
Not if you hurry about your business. And not if the weather holds up.
There is concern in his tone, but he does not elaborate. What kind of weather do they get here?
This time of year, rain mostly, and wind. But there's a different kind of wind out here time to time. Locals call it a beawick, born out of the ether, the spirit's path. Never seen it myself, never cared to.
What are these huge rocks coming up out of the ground?
They don't got Adra where you come from? Well, it just grows up out of the ground like this. Goes deep like tree roots. Some of it all the way to the heart of the world, you believe the stories. It's more like a shell than a proper rock. Easier to work if you're a mason. Got all kinds of strange properties. Seems to have some kind of life of its own. Dies if it gets dug up. Loses its luster. Folks think it probably grew at one point or another, but not these days.
I had a theory about this. I remember the last time I played this. I'm not going to give it away yet, just in case I'm right.
The soul butchers in Defiance Bay use it for different things. I've heard tell it can hold a man's soul, but I don't care to see it. Got enough to worry about without seeing something like that.
I'll go see about those berries then.
Hold on. Take someone with you. I know you're not some helpless tenderfoot, not like most of this lot. But you drop dead, I don't want to be looking for the body. Got a schedule to keep.
He scans over the travelers, resting his eyes at length on a sturdy, armor-clad woman who has spent the journey's nights sleeping on uneven ground without blanket or pillow.
Kalisha. Kalisha!
The woman looks up on her own time.
He needs to find some springberries. Watch that he doesn't drop dead.
No promises.
What kind of guide says something like that?
Kind you can afford.
Don't listen to her. You're in good hands. And I pay too well, if anything. Off with you. Hayden should have supplies. See that you're equipped before you head out. We're in harsh country. Get your berries and hurry back. And if you get so much as a tickle of wind, you drop everything and you run. Something in the air tonight. If it's a beawick, we'll shelter in the ruins. Hut dwellers be damned.
You heard the man. Let's get going before you keel over.
Welcome to Pillars of Eternity. If this is your first visit to the world of Eora, you may want to watch these windows, become familiar with the tools and interfaces. I probably will. Oh shit, wait. Your party always consists of your character and up to 5 additional companions, while caravan is camped outside the Glanfathan ruins. Automa has assigned Kaliska to help you. Kaliska is a fighter, a class excels at close quarter defense. Okay. Alright. I think it's pretty much plays just like Baldur's Gate, if I remember correctly. Mostly like Baldur's Gate. I need to get something adjusted with the mic here, because I'm having to use my keyboard this time around. Give me a mo. Alright, we're going to try that out. See how it works. Alright. Why do I have a pig in my... Giant miniature space piglet. This tiny titanic pig has an otherworldly appearance that seems to be at odds with its endearing behavior. It follows you dutifully and requires nothing in return save companionship. Oh, I can, like, let those wander around with me, can I? I don't remember how you do it, but I think I can. Unless I'm remembering that wrong. Gaun's Pledge. Grants Gaun's Pledge. This item grants the ability to shield the wearer from the myriad perils that plague the world of Eora. An aspect of the god Eothas, Gaun represents the harvest of old age, symbolized here by the many interlocking sickles that form the ring. As Gaun helps protect the dignity of old age, so too do his followers pledge to prevent young lives from being harvested before their time. 2 times per rest, plus 15 endurance. Okay. I'll equip that. That sounds like that would be useful. So I got hide armor. I'm using a pike. Kaliska is dual wielding a torch and a battle axe. And she has scale armor. Okay, it's somewhat coming back to me, this game. I always liked how you can, like, hover over pretty much everything and it gives you a tooltip. That helps. Alright. Here's what I was looking for. Party reputations, a bunch of whatever data. Alright, she's first level Meadowfolk Fighter. She's an explorer from the Deerwood. Constant recovery. It's a passive. Okay. Fighting spirit. Alright, she gets some bonuses if her endurance is below 50%. Knockdown. I remember that being a thing. You can make things prone. Second wind. Once per encounter. Athletics 1. Self. Okay. Well. No better way to do this than to dive right in, I think. Save. Alright.
Yeah.
Go on then, before it gets too dark.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm a barbarian. Don't mind Automa. This is as good a place to camp as any.
Right.
It's best not to wander alone, especially so near the woods. Caravan life doesn't agree with you, does it? You look as raw as that merchant, Heoden. All kinds of beasts in these woods, and then you have the tribes. I suppose you wouldn't know much about Glanfathans. They're mighty protective of places like this. It really don't look so good. Odema was right to stop. I tried with Odema before. He's never led us astray. Okay, that's your highlight button. Who's this fella? Come with me. I see more and more people on the road these days looking for safety in towns and cities, it seems. I have a map. Okay. Alright. Let's go and look around what we got going on here. Ooh, hey,
Anyone need
stuff.
supplies? I've got sundries for sale.
You see a man wearing simple but mostly neat clothes. He's transfixed, however, by a ragged tear in the seam of his tunic.
Got a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road.
He scratches one cheek with his knuckles. It's covered with uneven stubble, as if he hasn't quite gotten used to shaving on the road.
Say, is there anything you need? I've got some basic traveling supplies for sale if you'd like to take a look.
Who are you?
I'm a trader, originally from the Adir Empire, but I've been trying to establish new business out here. Life on the road has brought some unexpected challenges, to be sure. And I'm sure you've noticed how prickly the locals can be. But we're here to make the most of things, right?
If you think these caravanners are prickly, watch out for those axe wielders Odema mentioned. He laughs. That's excellent advice indeed.
Something else you need? Looks like we're settled for the night.
Tell me about the Adir Empire.
It's not as big as it used to be, but it's still big. The mainland is a continent northwest of here, but the colonies used to include Raed Saris and the Deerwood. About 150 years ago, Deerwood won its independence from the Empire. A fact our companions are quick to remind me of.
He gives you a lopsided grin and nods at the other scattered caravaneers. Why'd you move all the way out here?
Because it seemed friendlier than Raed Saris? My brothers took over the family mercantile business a few years ago, and there wasn't enough for me to do back home. I moved out to try and expand.
He shrugs. Deerwood is a former Adir colony, so it seemed like a good place to start. As much as I admire the Rissarians' work ethic, they've always struck me as a little fanatical. Sounds reasonable enough. Let's see what you've got. Probably nothing I can actually afford. Do I have any gold? 100. Well, I got a pike right now. Wait, is that gold or CP? Must be CP. Okay. Well, I only have 100. I'm bound to find things out on the road, probably. But it wouldn't hurt to maybe take some lockpicks for the hell of it. Wait a minute. You talking about 114? Oh, wait a minute. No. 1, 2. Okay. I wonder if it says it's originally 38, but there's like a bartering system or something. Actually, why do I still have 2? I should have 1. Oh, okay, I get it. Alright, here's what's going on. Alright, I'll take 1 lockpick just for the hell of it. You never know.
Yeah.
Exploration, well, I know that. There's nothing else up this way right before I go out into the woods here and deal with things. We definitely don't want to go up there, apparently. Alright. Who the hell are you?
I'll have your water soon enough. Stream's not going anywhere.
You never know. Wouldn't you feel foolish if that stream got up and walked away? Admis Weird. Okay, I gained an ingredient, apparently. It says, path winds through a narrow canyon back the way you came.
Shouldn't stray too far.
Grooves in the road mark the passage of hundreds of caravans.
Let's check by those outcroppings.
Yeah, let's do that. What the hell did that used to be? Alright. It's a young wolf. Surely I can deal with a young wolf. Kill it. Oh, that's right. There's disengagement in this. I remember that now. Characters will also automatically engage enemies when they initiate attacks against them with melee. Okay. Characters in the game have 4 primary these defenses are based on attributes. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Do a full run around camp. Alright, I'll have to check that out, Master. A lot of tutorial boxes.
Look.
Oh, wait, there's something there. The wolf's body. Wolf hide. Okay. We can go check that camp. Oh yeah, there we go. Take that. Potion of minor regeneration. Difficulty. Okay, I think I remember how this works. With the lockpicks. Maybe. Okay, I think mechanics... The red one means my mechanics aren't that high. But it's saying that if my mechanics were 1, it would take me 1 lockpick. And since I don't have any mechanics, it would take me 3 lockpicks, but I only have 1 lockpick, so I can't open it.
What you need?
Huh?
And that might be between the 3 of us, I think. So I can't get in there. But there's another lockpick. Deerwood and clothing. Well, wait. I'll keep that just because that's money. Sell it. In fact, wait a minute.
Something else you need? Looks like we're...
There, you can have that. And then I will buy 1 more lockpick. And then I'll go back here because I have 3 lockpicks now. Lockpicks require 3. Do you want to pick the lock? Yeah.
Finished.
Alright, so that is how that works. Potion of minor endurance. Vibrant purple potion has an equally apparent effect for embidding. It immediately grants a rush of energy, restoring vitality and briskness even to most haggard and weary of individuals. Okay. Hold on to that. And actually, that might be a good quick item to have. And I'll keep this too. Now, you're up that way. That's where the wolf was. Ooh, what's this? Burned lady. I guess another ingredient. There's something else up there I missed before.
This is it.
I hear you're a pretty good hunter. Don't tell Sparfell or he'll run his mouth clear to Gilded Vale trying to convince you how much better he is. I've spent a lot of time living on my own in the wilderness. Yeah, how is it you happen to come here? A great fire destroyed everything. That's a damnable run of luck. Maybe the new setting will turn things around for you. Kaliska breathes in her surroundings. Been a long time since I've been this way, but I always did like it. Lord Raedric's offer makes a girl think. I'll give him that. You here to settle like the rest of the lot? No, I'm just passing through. That's usually the case with a big city, just a little ways further up the same road. Where you headed? I'll probably wander for a while. I couldn't judge you for that. Been half my life. Just watch yourself. You get too far off the beaten path. These lands are wild in more ways than one. Anyway, I'm wasting time here. Odima will give me an earful. Let's be on our way. Why are you here? Kaliska sighs unevenly. Her eyes search the ground at her feet. My sister moved out here some time back. She sent me a letter. She seemed worried, but that's how she always is. This time, though, she asked me to come out, and that's got me a little worried. I haven't seen her in ages. Been doing guide work in Ixmitil. But I'd do anything for her. She's a much better woman than me, so I'm here and we'll see. Odima I've worked with before. He doesn't usually drive a route this way, but he's doing it for me. Tell me about yourself. I've got simple needs. I like open skies and far horizons. I like work that lets me live that way. My family wanders too. We started in Deerwood, but my parents ended up in the Living Lands. I've got a brother in Rautai and another in Adir. My sister in Gilded Vale. She's the only real homebody. What can you tell me about Deerwood? Not too much for history, but from what I know, it used to be a part of the Adir Empire. Broke off after a war some years back. The locals here are feisty, and that's how they like it. I've been out of touch, but I've been hearing weird kinds of things about it lately. People having trouble giving birth, I guess. A lot of them. Been going on for years now. But somehow it's getting worse. With an uneasy tremor in her voice, she adds, I'll have to ask my sister more about it. Alright, let's get back to camp. You know, I wouldn't hold my breath if Sparfield's getting you water anytime soon. He does what he feels like when he feels like it. We should check up on him first. Slap him around a little. Stream's just down that way. Come on, let's get you your water. That's good, because I wasn't done exploring yet. Alright. What's up over here? Nothing, it looks like. There's a stream here. It's not much to this map. Oh, hey. Dead people. Travelers, maybe, or looters, or bandits. Bad sign any way you figure it. You guys aren't going to get up, are you? Corpse is cold to the touch, and a ripe smell wafts from it in putrid waves. A dark, crusted bloodstain besmirches his simple linen clothing. Alright, let's rob him. Leather armor. More lockpicks. I suppose leather armor is any better than what anybody's equipped with. It's medium armor. I want to be a light armor wearing barbarian, I think, even though I don't know if that's actually a good thing or not. At the moment. I did very little looking up about this before I started. I'm kind of going based off memory from the little bit of that I played of it before. Alright, guess we're crossing the bridge.
Went hunting. At least you left the water skins. Come on.
Let's tab key to highlight interactive objects. Okay. You crouch at the riverbank and dip your water skin into the cool water while Kaliska waits nearby, keeping watch. As you rise, you notice her look up sharply towards the tree line. Gain an item, full water skin. Okay. Out of the trees emerges Sparfell, one of the guides, breathing very heavily, barely discernible in the dim moonlight. He no longer carries his bow, and there is a strangeness to his gait, his stride wobbly as he moves towards you with labored breath.
Sparfel? Are you alright?
Sparfel's toe catches on a rock, and he collapses forward in a heap, the feathered shaft of an arrow planted between his shoulders like an enemy flag. I don't think he's alright.
Ambush!
Alright. 2 hunters. Let's take them together. Alright, you should be alright taking out that one. I don't like Mr. Bow Guy down here making a pincushion out of me.
Come on, we have to get back to camp.
Alright, just 2 of them. That wasn't too bad. I'm gonna take a bow. Amethyst. Alright, it's a gem. Hide armor I already have, but that's money. Take some money.
Yeah.
I need to look up how to do a quick save at some point here. Alright. Let's see if there's anything else around here. Oh, something up here. It's a camp. Beer. Damage reduction for 300.0 seconds. While few foreigners have much kind to say about the beer in Deerwood, where locals prefer to indulge in narcotics, beer is still a staple of every inn, home, and drunken feud. Footprints around a campfire are indistinct and may have been here for days or longer. Alright, I think we're going to be heading back here. AI, okay. Deer cap. Yeah, I remember so little about this. I don't even remember what, like, ingredients are even for. Ah, well. I'll figure it out when I get to it. Can I go around this way? Stark areas over here I haven't checked out yet. Combat. Oh, more of you guys. A lot more of you guys. Alright. Kaliska, I'm gonna have you try to get that one. Or not. Wait a minute. I have abilities. Once per encounter. Okay, I'll do that.
What you need?
Here, you go after him. Knock him down. Alright, not too bad. Hatchets, medium shields, side armors. I think there's like an item box you can get in this, or you have an item box or something that I could throw a lot of this stuff into. Right there, actually.
Yeah.
Alright, back down here. Fallen tree doesn't budge. Sap oozes from the jagged wound in his trunk.
We need to get back to Odema now.
Oh, calm down. Jeez. Nobody likes a backseat party member. Wait. Some over here. Orland's cradle, okay. All around you lie the massacred remains of the other travelers, peppered with arrows and knife hilts, splayed and bug-eyed and filthy. Kaliska puts the back of her left hand to her mouth as if to ward away some poisonous vapor. A handful of dark figures stands above the fallen, treading on limbs and backs and heads, jerking their axes from bodies as if from half-split logs. One of them, towering and severe with a thick beard tasseled with knots, holds a wet blade at the neck of the man you recognize as Hyoden, the last of your caravan left standing. Lay down your arms, trespasser. Do not forfeit this man's life for a fight you will lose. Why have you done this? You have trespassed in places of which no mortal man is worthy. You are trespassers and plunderers all, and we will see this outrage avenged. So I say again, lay down your arms. Don't trust them, they mean to kill us all. Well, given that they killed everybody else here, I would be agreeing with you. Wonder what the odds are I can rush him before he reacts. I'm a damn barbarian. I should be able to do that. Your surprising speed catches the man off guard. He hurls Hyoden out of the way in hopes of buying himself enough time to defend your charge. Alright, sweet. Alright. Frenzy. Oh, hell, I hope you could fight Hyoden. Ooh, somebody just got chunked. Damn, he killed that dude by himself. Okay. Oh, okay, this was the leader. I thought that was the leader over there. Your enemy lies supine on the ground, unable to rise. His companion is now silent among the other dead. His breath comes in wheezing, fitful gasps. He looks not at you, but at the sky above you. Forgive us. Barely audible beneath his choked sighs, a whisper of wind stirs the air. At this, the man's eyes roll back as he closes them. Good, good, the gods are just. A queer smile crosses his face. I am ready. The wind begins to swell, whipping around the camp, electric and volatile, upending pots and rattling tents like an angry spirit. You can feel it begin to seep beneath your skin, and where it pierces you, it feels as though it is rending you apart from within. Seated against a wagon wheel amidst the howling maelstrom, slashed across chest and bow, Odima's body stirs, and with great effort he raises his sagging head, his eyes barely open. He looks directly at you.
Get inside! Run!
This looks problematic. Straining against a gale that threatens to pull you off your feet with every step, you set your hands in the worn folds of weathered rock and set about pulling yourself up the precipice. With a last burst of energy before your arms give out, you swing yourself up onto the ledge. Hyoden trails behind, slowed by injury and delayed by early hesitation. As he nears the face of the rock, one of the fallen attackers who has been feigning death lunges for Hyoden and topples him onto the rocky ground. Restrained, Hyoden lashes out against his fatigued assailant, but struggles to break his hold. Excuse me. They're close to you. Despite the wind from your position, if you were to throw your weapon at the attacker, you would have a good chance of hitting your mark. Yeah, but that's the only weapon I have. No, I guess I have some hatchets just in case. I'll throw my weapon at him. Your aim is true, and the hit jars Hyoden loose. Lurching to his feet, Hyoden clambers up the base of the rocks. As he nears the top, however, the wind flares, pulling him sideways and tearing one of his hands free. But diving out onto the hard rock, you manage to catch hold of it. Securing his other hand, you pull with waning strength, and it feels as though your arms will be jerked from their sockets. They hold just long enough for Hyoden to set his feet and join you on the trembling ledge. There is a deep resonance to the swelling wind now. You feel it in the rocks beneath your feet and inside the cavity of your own chest, as though it would shake the marrow from your bones. Each new gust menaces the old stones before you, loosening connections, unsettling balances. As you dart beneath the old archway, the entire portal begins to fall beneath its own weight.
Was that?
The coolest pike throw you've ever seen in your life? Yes, it was.
A Bewick. Had to be.
Then we're lucky to be alive.
And we're the only ones.
There could be another collapse. We're not getting out that way anyway. Let's get further inside.
Works for me, there might be treasure in here. Ooh, wait.
Yeah.
Lower level of the ruins has been blocked off by fallen rubble. Alright, what's your story here, Hyoden? You dual wield daggers. And you have lockpicks, which are always a welcome addition. You have a potion of minor regen. You can have that in your quick items. And you are a rogue. An Adir Drifter rogue. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's check this place out. Oh, that's right. You can talk to people.
This trip could have gone better.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Yeah. That should be far enough. But what now?
Storm has to die sometime.
What happened out there? Kaliska shakes her head. Windstorm, of a kind they only get in Ir Glanfath. Not too many people live through them, so it's hard to know what's true. The Glanfathan word is Bewick. To them, it's the gods' way of reaping the souls of the land that couldn't find their own way out. But they'll take a living soul as soon as a dead one. Still got yours? Who attacked us? Glanfathans. Those would be the hut dwellers of Odima warned you about. Look to be fangs of Galawain, who are the twitchiest of the lot. They go ruin to ruin looking for fights with colonists. Poor Odima, I think he half expected this once we lost the main road. The Glanfathans said we trespassed in the ruins. I don't believe that. Odima would never allow it. But as much as the Fangs are hotheads, Glanfathans don't attack without being provoked. Either they saw something and got the wrong idea, or... She glances down the passage beyond. Or there's looters in here with us. That's not something we need right now. What about everyone else in our caravan? Callista's lips press together and her chin rumples. Her voice is faint. The wheels got hold of them now. She looks up. Gods grant them better luck in their next lives. You don't seem too upset about all this. Callista looks you in the eye, a volatile current running beneath her voice. Maybe you just don't know me enough to know what upset looks like. And maybe I've seen worse too. Seen worse and kept on walking because there's nothing else to be done and because there's other people you care about who still need you. Well, okay, Betty Badass. Alright. Save. Hang on 1 second here. Controls. Quick save, F5. Nice, okay. Solves that problem. Now it's fairly quiet so far. What the hell is that? A trembling, sickly creature emerges from the dark, clutching a spear. Knobbly elbows and thin ribs show through its scaly flesh, but you recognize it as a Zarup. It watches you cautiously, breathing in ragged sighs. Well, it might not understand my language, so I'm going to raise my arms and stand still. Creature cocks its head and approaches you, a soft clicking sound emanating from the back of its throat. Creature sniffs around you and finds nothing of interest. It steps back and resumes its defensive posture. Slowly back away. Zarup watches warily as you go. Here, I have no intention of killing you. Oh. I guess I got too close for it. Oh well. I need to know what's in this pot. There's lockpicks in here. They're important. Oh, that's right. He needs a weapon now. He threw his thing away. Hatchet. We'll use that. Actually... medium shield. Lowers my accuracy. What happens if I dual wield? Because I'm sure there's some kind of a penalty attached to it. Yeah, I felt bad, killing them, but you never know what's in these pots. It could be something that just solves all of our problems. And it's not like I was touching them. Alright, I'm dual wielding. That's a very barbarian thing to do. Oh, wait. I need to check his body. I don't know how I missed that. Put that and that into the item box. Hey, another body. Wait, do you hear that? Crossbow. I'll hold on to that for now. It's this thingy. Leather armor. And within relief gem. Okay, so it's a gem. Torch. and I'll hold on to it. Tattered journal. The small folio is torn in several places, and blood has soaked into several of the sheets. One later entry is still legible, however. I can't believe my luck. A few rounds of dice and I've got my hands on a genuine Engwithan artifact. Fellow who's had it said it was a pretty nothing as far as he's concerned. He's not willing to go digging in some ruins, but if he's right about this gem leading to a hidden treasure, then that's worth sneaking past a few painted elves. I'll head to Silantlis in the morning. Then it's just a matter of finding this relief he was talking about. So there's treasure in here. Let's keep going. Let's go up this way. Come back the other way.
Those tiles look suspicious. Let's be careful.
Yeah, that screams trap to me.
That roundish symbol. I'm pretty sure I saw it on one of the tiles back there.
Wait, what roundish symbol? A symbol of interwoven rings is inscribed on this pillar. An unlit brazier sits at its base. It could be lit if you had the means. I'm sure this won't do anything bad. Flames kindle swiftly in the brazier, winding their way upwards. The mural must be ancient, yet the colors are still bright and vivid. It shows a procession of Engwithans from all the Kith races: Alma, Elf, Orlan, Dwarf, and Human. They walk among pillars similar to the ones that span this chamber, each one topped with a flame. Let's see what else is in here before I just start lighting things on fire. Oh, it made me a path across the traps. Alright, that was simple enough. I like easy puzzles. Especially on Monday mornings. Lesser black ooze. Oh, hey, it's got a buddy too. Ah, it spits at you. Well, you know what? I never took those berries. I wonder if I'm supposed to eat those berries, because I still have a strange illness, apparently. But first loot. Ooze plasma. Why not? Poleaxe, two-handed. Versatile poleaxe is a powerful and flexible weapon that can deal devastating blows against even a fully armored opponent. Yeah. I'll hold on to it for now. I kind of like my dual axes. Alright, wait a minute. Here we go. It must get used in story or something, because I don't appear to have a way to actually use it.
What's that muck on the wall?
Probably ooze from the things we just killed. Viscous and oily, this muck clings to anything it touches. A viscous slick of something dark and tar-like runs down this wall. The shapes and bulges and ooze suggest that something lies beneath it, but you can't tell what. Let's use the water skin to clear off the ooze. You rinse the ooze away, revealing an intricate relief of a man's face. The sunburst surrounding it has chipped away in places, but the details of its head, from the tight curls of hair to the ridges of his pointed ears, still showcase remarkable craftsmanship. One eye socket is empty. A gem fills the other. Can we put any gem there? The chamber begins to rumble, stray rocks dancing across the tile floor. Finally, a large section of the wall gives way. Oh, that's what that gem was for. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, hey, more oozes.
Let's go.
Minor cloak protection. +5 fortitude, reflex, and will. Okay, that is going to go to my Barbarian. Amethyst and Adra. So I'm guessing there's nothing else in here. Okay, it was just a secret room. Oh, that's right. This game actually lets you see the things you equip on yourself, so I can whip my damn cloak around. That's cool as hell. It's the little things. After having played retro games so much lately, having the ability to whip my cloak around feels alien. Alright, was there a room down this way that I missed? Back in here, there was no way to go this way, was there? Ah, there is something here.
Wonder who was here. See if they left anything useful behind.
Good idea. They may have forgotten something important. Mace, I can go into the item box. Camping supplies. Hammer and wait, you've discovered some camping supplies. You can use these to rest in the wilderness or dungeons, fully restoring all your character's ability and health. Okay. Hammer and chisel. That could be useful. What else we got? Crates. Small shield. Hold on to that. Torch. I'll hold on to the torch. A lot of miscellaneous items like that can be used in cutscenes sometimes, so it's worth it to hold on to things like hammers and chisels, from what I remember. Alright, I'm guessing this room right here is probably the way out. So let's go back this way. And go in here. That's the guy we looted from. Whoa, what is that? Scalder whelp. Knock him down.
What you need?
Damn. You're even more of a whelp than you were when you started.
Yeah.
Another hatchet. It's
Take a look
actually
at the
a...
wall. Think we could get through?
I think there's actually like a... bestiary or something. Is it J for journal? Yeah. Encyclopedia, bestiary. Scalder. Scalder whelp. Scalders are large mammalian creatures that dwell in caves in total or near total darkness. As a result, they have poor vision and rely on their sense of hearing to navigate and find prey. The protrusions and hairs on their ears allow them to detect airflow, which is key to telling direction in an underground environment. They communicate through screeches and clicks and use these vocalizations as a form of echolocation. They are communal creatures and will nest and raise young together. While I'm here, what the heck was a Zarup? Zarups are reptilian humanoids about the size of Orlans. They adorn themselves with the bones of fallen enemies, mostly Zarups from rival tribes. They also have an affinity for large feathers, which they hang and pin to their attire. Zarups' skin tones can vary from light green to rustic brown. Their elongated snouts, which make speech impossible, and overly aggressive behavior have hindered them from communicating with the more civilized races of the world. They live in secluded tribal territories and are known for ruthlessly attacking anyone foolish enough to cross their path. Zarups revere dragons as deities and build their communities around the lairs of these powerful creatures. It is not uncommon for a small tribe to wander nomadically until it has found a drake or dragon to worship. Once a tribe dedicates itself to a dragon, they will defend it. They will defend it at all costs. Elaborate rituals in which the dragon consumes Zarup sacrifices are a normal practice. As a dragon grows in age and size, these sacrifices become large religious events that cost the lives of hundreds of Zarups. Power and prestige of a Zarup tribe directly correlates with the age of its dragon. The most powerful tribes have existed for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Warriors and shamans of these large tribes typically paint their bodies to resemble their draconic gods. I think what I'm going to do at some point, I was thinking about doing this before for like lore dumps like that, is just like kind of read them in video, like off stream. Excuse me, that way if anybody wants to get a lore dump, they can do it that way. A crack runs along this wall from floor to ceiling. A light gust of air passes through it. Let's not waste our hammer and chisel. Let's just push on it. Despite the damage, the stone looks heavy and solid. Push on it yourself, because I'm probably the strongest person here. You push the wall with all your might, but it does not give. One of your characters has become fatigued. Fatigue represents physical and psychological wear and tear of demanding activity on a character. It's most commonly perceived as an injury when a character is knocked out, but some scripted interactions will also result in fatigue if they are especially grueling. So how the hell do I get rid of being fatigued? Wait a minute. Oh, fatigue's like I gotta rest or something then, probably. I ain't gonna worry about it too much right now. Choose a hammer and chisel. You set to work. The cracks lengthen and widen with your efforts, but the process is more taxing than you'd expect. Sweat beads your forehead and your muscles begin to ache. Continue chiseling. After several long moments, you begin to see light on the other side. With one final tap, several blocks of stone shift and tumble loose, clearing a gap just wide enough to pass through. Alright. I think I'm actually going to use... At least I thought I had some camping supplies within my... maybe I didn't. I thought I had camping supplies earlier. But I don't see any. clear up the inventory a bit. Oh, okay, they're not in your inventory. They go right here. I see. Camping allows your party members to restore lost health and receive a camping bonus. Camping will consume a camping supply. Choose a camping bonus. Damage reduction sounds good. Am I gonna get attacked like Baldur's Gate? No, I'm not. I still have my strange illness.
Sure.
Wait for everybody else. Wait for everybody else. Don't know what's in
I
here.
could scout ahead.
Well, a little late for that. Alright, it's just another starved Scalder Whelp. Okay, he should be even weaker than the last one we fought.
See what's around the corner.
Ooh, these guys are hitting me hard. Okay. Well, let's knock down your
What you
buddy.
need?
And you... Berserk.
Yeah.
Simple enough. Scaldrier. Yeah, let's take it. You never know. Maybe those are worth a lot. Oh, this room looks mostly empty. Wonder if this leads me past that other
Do you
room.
feel that? There's a draft coming through that wall. I don't hear any sign of that storm either.
Spear Spiderling. Ah, so that was, in fact, an alternate route around that little trap thing here. Wait a minute. Okay, that's a dead end. But is that a dead end?
What you need?
Here, walk across this dangerous floor for me. Here, I guess that's nothing. What? You had one job, Kaliska.
Yeah.
Ah, it's a big one. And he's apparently famished. Alright. It's probably a good time to frenzy. Kaliska... What the hell's second wind do again? Once per encounter... Increases endurance. Okay, her endurance is alright right now. I'm slowly beginning to remember how this game worked. Okay, get over there. You're my damage dealer. Oh, he wasn't bad. I was expecting like a boss out of that or something. Allow me to take your leg. Just one.
Yeah.
Bats as large as chickens are strung in the web. Rapier. Yeah, put that into the box for now. And a bloodstone. Bloodstone is traditionally a dark stone, often a deep green, but the presence of pockets of iron or red jasper resembling blood spatter give the stone its name as well as its value. Okay. So I'm guessing that's the way out, so we don't want to go that way yet. A helm. Helmets come in many forms, from the humble padded cap to a fully enclosed steel great helms. Different cultures tend toward different styles of helmets, but outside of regimented armies, the type of helmet an individual wears often comes down to personal preference. Alright, let's take that and actually put it on. Shit, wait, did I not take it? I didn't take it. Or wait, did I take it? Where's that? Where the hell did it go? It's not my armor. Oh, there it is. I don't think it actually does anything. I think it's pretty much just a style thing. Doesn't say anything about it increasing any stats. Jasper and agate. Agates are common on Eora, oft used by craftsmen for their bright colors. Their considerable hardness also lends them a variety of more practical applications. And jasper is found in the wild as a dull modded stone, frequently in red or green, but often with a variety of colors lent by other surrounding minerals. While relatively easy to find, polish, the stone's distinctive swirls of color give it endless variety. Alright, we'll take them. Quick save it and let's get the hell out of here. Oh, well, this looks inviting. It's sunny out. Four figures stand before an otherworldly apparatus, an ancient structure of chiseled adra and metallic veins, ominous and looming like a silent observer. Standing motionless in their midst is what appears to be a human body, colorless as stone or ash. The other figures gaze upon it in what might be contemplation. From your vantage point, you are well obscured from their view. The figure closest to the machine stands out among them. A thick gray beard frames a face otherwise hidden beneath a metallic mask. His faded robes are embroidered with a runic language unlike anything you have ever seen, and he wears a strange black headdress with two protrusions that jut out like the wings of some malevolent creature.
Oathbinder, bear witness, and see this man has kept his word true to his last breath, full to his blood's last.
Hey Max, how's it going?
Guide his soul, queen that was.
It's going pretty good.
Let his life by the key be his confession. Let his death by the key be his absolution. May he walk the world ever free of the crushing weight of the book.
Just playing Pillars of Eternity today. Not necessarily for the first time, but the first time I'm actually trying to go ahead and beat it. I've had start and stops on it before.
Your brother has done his part, and you have seen the power of his contribution. I will accept no further hesitation from the rest of you. In the sight of the queen that was, will you fulfill the oath? Will you take your place beside your brother in the endless esteem of her memory that is without flaw? Step forth, and be assured of the great worth of your life's course.
I'm currently using a Barbarian, which I've heard people say is a good class to do this with. Last time when I was messing around with it, I went with a fighter, but I decided to do something a little bit different. For an instant, the apparatus goes quiet and the air is still. Then, all at once, it erupts with a concussive surge. Light floods your vision and you are knocked to the ground. Your head snaps back as you land and pain wells into the back of your skull, washing your last thoughts away into the black, unconscious void. You open your eyes to a different place, another time. You stand in a circular room, grand and domed, its walls lined with Adra and trimmed with copper. The style is ancient, but the chamber is unweathered. At the far end, a great pillar of Adra pierces the floor from below, its shimmering texture giving the illusion of boundless depth. Encircling the pillar is an apparatus much like the one you have just seen, but immense and multifaceted and intertwined. Your thoughts are yours and not yours, and they seem to exist before you think them, and they all are questions. They are all questions. Pressing questions, troubling questions, questions that must be answered, or... At the base of the pillar now you see a man with a thick gray beard and ceremonial robe, crowned with a strange ornamental headdress. You know this man. You're walking towards him now at a pace that is hurried while trying not to appear so. You have something you want to ask him, one question above all, and the question spins madly in your mind. You awaken to find your malaise has broken, only to be replaced with something far more concerning. Faint whispers are audible at the edge of your hearing, like a ringing in your ears that does not subside. Movement flits through your periphery, but when you turn to look, you can see no sign of whatever it was. You find your gaze regularly darting this way and that, an involuntary paranoid tic. If this is a sickness, it may be dangerous to go without treatment for long. The figures at the machine stand frozen in place, flesh and blood replaced by cinders and ash. The man who led them is nowhere to be seen. Heoden and Kaliska lie bloody on uneven cobbles, their bodies twisted unnaturally in death. Aww. They died. You are alone and far from help. Gilded Veil may be your best hope of receiving treatment before things get worse. I've earned enough experience to advance in a level. Let's do that real quick. Okay, so I get skills. I have 6 points. Oh, okay, that's right. You get points to use in this. And you level up like your skills and stuff. I remember this now. And I used to know which ones were supposed to be halfway decent. I think survival's supposed to be good. I'm not worried about stealth. Then give me a point in athletics. I'm not going to worry too much about lore or mechanics right now. And I'm going to save the rest of my skill points. Talents. Lots of talents. Greater Frenzy. Cultivates the Barbarian's inner rage, granting additional bonuses while under the effects of Frenzy. Cultivates, granting additional bonuses while under the effects of Frenzy. Well, considering you can use that once per encounter, it might be a good idea to just get Greater Frenzy. Accurate Carnage. Barbarian learns to line up his or her most savage blows, improving the accuracy of secondary attacks from Carnage. Modifies Carnage. Carnage is a passive. I must have that passive. I don't know what the hell Carnage is. Barbaric Blow. Deals a blow, causing additional crits and extra damage on crits. Carnage is not affected. Wait a minute. Okay, you actually, I think, can get the ability to get talents that other classes have, maybe? I think that was the thing in this. Okay, so I can pick one. Weapon focuses. Fast runner. Sky and a flame. Ooh, there's a lot to look at here. I'm gonna go with Greater Frenzy for the moment, just because I've been using Frenzy. And I can always respec. So we'll try that. Alright, friends. You're dead. I hear things. Okay, you can zoom in this. Oh, I got his stuff too. Deer cap. Whoa. Okay. Vessel flesh and the statue or ash, whatever the hell it is, just collapsed apparently. Oh. Somebody's on a stake? I can't interact with you? Is it? I don't think I can interact with you.
Huh?
You're just kind of there. I wonder if you were supposed to disappear when the effects went away there. Oh, there you go. This game's weirding me out. There's nowhere to go down there, I guess. Alright, I guess I need to check this thing out. Just be cautious. This massive structure is formed of stone, ager, and copper and covered in strange glyphs. The air around it vibrates with an unusual energy. Can't do anything to it? Can I crush it and hear the lamentations of its women? No. Then it means nothing to me, for I am a barbarian. Alright, this is telling me I should go to Gilded Vale. But looks like I need to pass through the Valewood first, so... Take you 6 hours to complete your journey from... Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Ready to sleep like the dead.
That's probably not the best thing to say on a rainy night. Let's go with damage reduction. That's safe. atmosphere. Oh, another dead body. We seem to be finding a lot of those. Leather armor. I'm gonna put that away. More camping supplies. You're dead, good sir, but I will put your camping supplies to good use. Fear not, your death was not in vain. Whoa. There's a... I just saw a ghost. That disease went away that I had, that I needed the spring berries for at the very beginning. Hey. Damn it, that was another ghost. And that body apparently has nothing on it. What's going on, Odin? How you doing? An outlaw. Alright, hopefully you're by yourself. Wow, frenzy makes me pretty fast, apparently. Oh boy. This is probably a bad idea. I'm gonna leave them for a second. Ah, hell. Nah, I'll leave them. Oh, Audie. Oh yeah, and 7's from Mass Effect. It's been so long since I played Mass Effect, I forgot all about that. I'm doing pretty good. Messing around with Pillars of Eternity for the first time in a couple of years. I never actually finished it before. So I'm making another run at it. I may die to these wolves. I'm actually wondering if I should go to Gildavale and just skip this area I'm in right now. Let's see how badly I'm hurt after I kill these guys. Because it looks like... Well, actually, I'm not in too bad shape. I'll take your wolf pelts if you don't mind. Let's go around this way. I'm still hesitant to approach that camp. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, I love the hell out of Baldur's Gate. And anything that reminds me of Baldur's Gate's a good thing. And this does a good job of reminding me of Baldur's Gate. Okay, this camp has one person at it. That makes me feel a little bit more safe.
Hello.
This man appears to be hurriedly dismantling his camp in quick, jerky movements. He looks as you approach, his expression tense and drawn. Greetings, he says, a little breathless. On your way south, is it? He wipes his brow, turning to face you. The sooner you're clear of these woods, the better, I think. I think the demo just come out for that or something? I thought I read something about a demo yesterday. I've not been following it too closely. Just haven't had the time. Our caravan was attacked. I've been trying to get to Gilded Vale. Hard luck, and I'm sorry to hear it. You should be fine from here. There's no missing the Vale if you keep to the road, and you haven't far to walk. But you'll want to keep clear of this place after that. We were just attacked north of here. Me and a friend of mine. We came out here to hunt some deer. Came up on a bear instead. Great monstrous thing. And Pearly, he didn't make it. He shakes his head. I don't know what I'll tell his wife. In any case, this forest already cost me a friend. I'm heading home before it takes anything else. Who are you? Name's Naughton. Born and raised in Gilded Vale. I haven't had a spot of luck since. His face twists. Luckier than Pearly, I suppose. In any case, this forest already cost me a friend. I'm heading home before it takes anything else. What happened to your friend, even though you just told me already? We didn't see it coming. Naughton's voice shakes a little as he speaks. We were following a stag. Pearly, he saw something in the brambles and we went tearing off after it. We all but stumbled into the cave. Poor Pearly didn't stand a chance. The bear was on top of him before we knew it was happening. Where'd you find this bear? In a cave, a ways up that way. He turns to point to the northwest. I wouldn't seek it out if I were you. It was a great brute of a beast. Would hate to hear that it took another life. Yeah, probably not a good idea to take that on by myself. Did I ever play Neverwinter Nights 2? No, actually. I played a little bit of the first one, but I didn't get that far into it. But Neverwinter Nights, actually, I do want to go through the first one at some point, and the second one too. My list of games to play is so long, I don't know if I'll ever get to them though. I kind of took a sabbatical of sorts from gaming for a while. I had a lot going on. They're definitely on my list. At least the second one. I've heard the first one wasn't really that great. Northwest to Gairen's Grasp, south to Gilded Vale. And let's live dangerously and check this area out a little bit more by my lonesome. Knights of the Old Republic, right? I actually owned it and never got around to beating it. So that's also on my list to do at some point. I got pretty far into it, but I think I stopped playing it because something came up. Has something else going on. Seemed pretty good though. And thank you very much for the follow, Audie. It's greatly appreciated. You've played 2, right? Don't you need, like... 2 was unfinished, right? Don't you need, like... Aren't there mods or something that finish the second game up? These ancient walls appear to have once encircled this entire glade. Only a small fragment remains, and the stairs leading to the top of the structure have crumbled away. Let's examine the wall more closely. The heavy bricks are slick with moss, presenting a hindrance to climbing, but the stones themselves seem sturdy enough. Given the right tools, one might easily reach the top. I do not probably have the tools. Let's scale it. I'm sure that'll work out pleasantly. You know what? I might have to do that next then. I remember liking it. I'm not somebody who's seen most of the Star Wars movies. I've seen like the original sequels. But I always dug Star Wars a bit. Just never got a chance to really get into them that much. You find a handhold upon one of the large stones and start to pull yourself up. But the uneven bricks and odd angle of an ascent make the climb difficult, and after a short distance, your arms begin to burn too fiercely. You are forced to drop back down to the ground. Alright, I probably need to come back here with like a grappling hook, because I remember grappling hooks being a thing in this. Let me see. Well, the game just kind of just told me that's a bandit camp, so I'm definitely not checking that out until I am not by myself. Thanks for that little tidbit of information. The grass is still flattened but behind the wagon's wheels. Barrels of cabbages, potatoes, and squash have been overturned and abandoned. Yeah, I'll have to try the sequel to this one at some point, too. What's going to kill me with this is I have plans to, like, stream all these games, and all these games are, like, really long. It's not enough freaking time. And it's easier on me a little bit because I'm self-employed, so I work from home. Like, I kind of can do my own thing and keep my own hours a bit. I can imagine what it's like for somebody that doesn't have that luxury and is trying to play, like, all through this, like, through all this stuff. Hell, we were talking about Mass Effect. I was planning on maybe doing a run-through of Mass Effect again at some point, just for the hell of it. Because it's been so long. I don't know when the hell I'll fit it in. Oh, wait a minute, northwest, there's a bear up here. Wonder if he's, like, in the cave. Location discovered, bear cave. Okay, I'm backing off that. Yeah, I dug them a lot. I know people hated the third one, but I ended up playing it like a couple years after it first came out, so by that point it was all patched and all the DLC was out for it, so it wasn't as bad. I didn't mind it as much. But I think I'm a lot more easy to please when it comes to games sometimes. Maybe it's because I've played so much older stuff. Because people want to hate on stuff like Mass Effect 3, and it's like, you have not seen bad games. Go play some of the 8-bit stuff that wasn't good. The stress and supports are large enough to be the ribs and vertebrae of a dragon. There's nothing else here. Alright. We're heading for Gilded Vale. Just to be on a safe side. I'm not messing with a bear, and I'm not messing with a party with 4 bandits in it. Not by myself. It's this way. Oh. Have I come at a bad time?
You must be one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here.
How bad is Andromeda? Because I've heard people say that game was... I don't know if it was just that it was really bad or it just didn't meet expectations because it was a Mass Effect game or what, but I know a lot of people weren't into it. I never really read anything about it back then when it came out. Man approaches you. His skin is dull and gray as the desolate village behind him. He scans you with sunken, lifeless eyes. You must be one of the new settlers. His voice is a dry croak. Welcome to Gilded Vale. You'll be pleased to know that we've had some recent vacancies here. He glances at the gnarled, leafless monstrosity of a tree next to him. Yeah, like half the damn village from the looks of it. Do you welcome everyone this way? The only answer you hear is the buzzing of flies from the tree.
Of course, we'll need to make some inquiries first. The inestimable Lord Radric VII has taken great pains to insulate our town from Widewind's legacy. Have you ever sired a Hollowborn child?
Not that I know of. What are you talking about?
An infant born without a soul, of course. Lord Radric has made it his first priority to eliminate this scourge from our village.
Sounds like a pleasant fellow.
I should warn you, stranger. Here in Gilded Vale, we have a special place for dissidents, charlatans, and those who would hide a curse in our midst.
He steps to the side and inclines his head ever so slightly towards the deformed tree.
His lordship's wife is with child and due any day now. Without his approval, I shan't be able to find you a permanent settlement. It will have to wait until after the birth. We can continue our interview then, after the bell tolls from Radric's hold to signal my lord's new heir. In the meantime, you can find temporary accommodations at the inn just southwest of here.
I've been feeling strange ever since a close call with a Beawick. Is there someone in town who could help?
Whatever your problem, it sounds like a matter for an animancer. However, the only animancer in Gilded Vale isn't in any condition to speak. Consider yourself fortunate. After she failed Lord Radric, we saw to it that she wouldn't profit from the misplaced trust of others. A bad cure is often worse than none at all.
I do not like this guy.
But if you're set on finding a bottle of troll piss or a dead Audra pebble to rub on your forehead, you're welcome to check her pockets. A little corpse stink is nothing when you're digging for shit. My advice, however, is to be satisfied that you escaped and leave it at that.
You said something about Hollowborn and Widewind's legacy before. He blinks. I forget that you foreigners do not have this curse in your homelands. The Hollowborn have been a scourge upon the Deerwood for almost 15 years now. He lowers his voice to a whisper. Children born without souls. He shakes his head. Pitiful, dumb things that breathe, barely, but do not truly live. Some say the Hollowborn are a disease. Some say they are a punishment from the gods. He raises his empty hands. In truth, no one knows, but they began spreading after the Saints' War, and so the name Widewind's legacy stuck in honor of that foul, blasphemous pretender. His voice shakes with vitriol. Yeah. Still might be worth a playthrough. I'm going to have to do that at some point. But definitely going to have to do the trilogy first, just so I can kind of remember everything. Yeah, I was into that, and I was into Dragon Age. I only played the first Dragon Age, though. I think I have the second one floating around somewhere, but I never actually went through it. That was another one that everybody hated, but I saw somebody playing it on Twitch actually a couple months back. Might have been Dance Gaming. And it didn't look horrible. But then I heard the third one's supposed to be pretty good, so eventually I'll get back into Dragon Age 2. Play through them. Before I got here, I saw several people conducting a strange ceremony near some ruins. He regards you carefully. You'll want to mind where you mention that. Trespassing on and within ruins is illegal, not to mention dangerous. You probably saw someone attempting some new ritual to appease the gods. People will try anything these days. Bareth have mercy, we certainly have. I don't think so. Just as they finished, there was a beer wick. He polishes his spectacles on his sleeve. If you'd been that close to a Beowick, you wouldn't be standing here. Goodbye.
Listen!
2 tolls. Let that be the last.
3. Gods have mercy.
It seems your arrival is ill-timed. 3 bells toll only for the death of a Radric. I fear Lord Radric's heir is lost, or else Hollowborn, and so lost all the same. You should tread carefully. Circumstances have changed a great deal.
What do you mean? You come to us at a time of mourning. Legacy is struck at the heart of Gilded Vale. Our efforts to redeem ourselves in the eyes of Barath must be redoubled. He sets a steady gaze on you. Don't threaten me, little man. I'm a freaking barbarian. He shakes his head, unmoved. It is no threat, only a warning. Lord Radric will tolerate no threats to his kin or those who live upon his lands. Grief will not make him more docile. What happened? He shrugs one bony shoulder. I will know more details when the messengers arrive. The vagaries of childbirth, perhaps, but that is not your concern. Does this affect the Lord's offer to new settlers? I can be sure of nothing right now. I advise you to get some rest, at the inn or a stable for all I care. Find me afterwards, I will know more soon enough. Yeah, I definitely don't like this dude. I'm afraid I can't help you find residence here. Lord Radric's son was deemed a Hollowborn. This makes circumstances even more fraught than before. Tell me about Lord Radric. He comes from a line of nobles who have defended these lands since Edir times. Radric II was an early supporter of Deerwooden independence during the Revolution, and the current Lord's father perished in the Saints' War. Hollowborn began appearing in the Deerwoods shortly after the war's end. Lord Radric has taken upon himself to purge the curse from Gilded Vale. His measures have been severe but necessary. Fortunately, it may not have been enough if the bells were any indication. The Saints' War. Our age's most egregious example of man's madness. 15 years ago, the people of Raidceris decided that Waidwin, their living saint, was a literal incarnation of the god Ethos. Urgit wrinkles his pinched nose. This supposed saint took it upon himself to liberate the Deerwood, supposedly from allegiances to less worthy gods, but I've never known an army to conquer a land for its people's own good. The war lasted about a year, but you can guess what the year did to the worship of Eothas in the Deerwood. Lord Radric's forebears had all been Eothesans, but after his father fell defending us from those fanatics, he personally saw that the temple of Eothas here in town was shut down. He points at a few ruined walls near the tree. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to ask. It's important that everyone in Gilded Vale understand our rules. I'd like to know more about Gilded Vale since we're talking about me apparently getting a house here. We're a frontier village, as are most settlements in the Deerwood. Gilded Vale hasn't grown much since its establishment in the colonial days. In the last 15 years have seen our population shrink further. He takes in the ramshackled houses and half-fallen fences. Hence our recruitment of fresh settlers. Well, maybe if you'd stop hanging them off from a tree, you might not have a problem. Why has Gilded Vale's population been shrinking? Waidwin's legacy, of course. Many women have had difficulty bearing healthy children of late. A few years ago, Lord Raedric decreed that no mothers of Hollowborn are to be allowed in Gildavale. His mouth tightens into a firm line. His lordship dealt swiftly with the objectors. It may be harsh, but if it purges us of his curse, is it not worth it? Tell me about those ruins behind the tree. Ask what's left of the Temple of Eothas. His lips pucker. Lord Raedric forbade worship of the dead god after the Saints' War. It's been abandoned for almost 15 years, but there are plans to rededicate it to Bareth, the god of life and death. Enough about Gildavale. Goodbye. Alright, I completed a quest. I guess just talking to that dude. Keep out of trouble. Speak to Urgeet if you're in need of instruction.
Were you looking for someone in that tree? I could introduce you.
Looking for anyone who can help me feel better. He gives an understanding nod as he takes a long drag from his pipe. My condolences. He exhales and turns his attention away, watching the village around him. Man smiles broadly. Welcome to our lovely village. Holy crap, that's a lot of people. Scattered between the roots are bracelets of twine and bead, wilting flowers and notes half erased by the rains. I guess I literally can't get into that one woman's pocket he was talking about. Blood moss. Things are bound to get worse now. Don't be stupid, they can't possibly get any worse. The crops are blighted, the legacy is upon us, this place is cursed. You think these rains would be a boon for the crops. You see 4 people gathered by the door to the inn. Their raised voices and chopping gestures suggest an argument reaching its climax. The first figure raises his hands for calm. His face is partially obscured by a hood, but his height and stature suggest an elf.
I meant no offense. Let's put this matter to rest over a round, shall we? My treat.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a few Adira coppers, eh? We don't need your coin.
What's going on? One of the other men points at the hooded elf. His eyes are red from drink, but his gaze is focused, mocking us even while he slithers in our village. Just goes to show you what these fancy Adira manners are worth. We don't take to that kind of treatment, not from foreigners, and especially not from Adirans.
Go on. Say it again. I'm itching for an excuse.
Fie, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
Oh, I remember this character now.
I'll cut that barrel-licking tongue out of your head.
This is a misunderstanding. I didn't say whatever it is you think I said. We've nigh quarrel.
That's where you're wrong.
I don't think attacking him is such a good idea. Because then you'll have me to deal with. They look at each other. One of the men gives the other two a warning shake of his head before turning to you. We're done for now, but this one better watch his step around here because we're not going anywhere. With a final scoff at the elf, he turns to leave. As the 3 stumble away, the elf turns to you. the tension almost gone from his smooth face.
Not quite how I hoped to get to know the neighbors. Thank you for your timely assistance with that awkward situation.
No problem. You'll owe me some money and or you'll have to join my party for that. You're welcome.
Courtesy is a rare pleasure in these parts. Though your accent suggests that you are no more local than I.
He straightens his hood, and you note the remains of fraying embroidery on his gloves. His boots are caked with the dirt of many months' travel, but the leatherwork beneath it is sturdy and fine.
Well, I suppose introductions are in order after that little fiasco. Aloth Corvusser, at your service.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm a wizard by training, and an adventurer by necessity. I was born in the Seathwood, part of the mainland of the Adir Empire, and both of my parents served the nobility, which afforded me an education for which I am grateful. However, there were no open positions in those houses, and so I decided to seek new means in a new land. And how exactly did you come to be here?
I was traveling with a caravan, but we were separated near some ruins.
Ingwithan ruins? Oh, those can be dangerous places during the best of times, which these are not. And half the locals would arrest you for trespassing, and the rest would kill you outright. I'm curious, what exactly did you find there?
Several hooded figures operating a strange machine, that's all. Aloth goggles at you silently, apparently assessing your earnestness. Finally, he gives you a clipped, awkward laugh.
You do manage to find yourself in rather interesting predicaments.
What are you doing in Gilded Vale?
An excellent question. I came looking for fresh air and cheap land. Instead, the magistrate gave me directions to the inn and a story about the local lord's expectant wife. But I take it that's a familiar tale.
Oh yeah, he's a pleasant guy. I've been he says, and you. I've been experiencing strange things of late. I'm looking for an expert on souls.
Indeed. The local lord has searched far and wide for similar specialists, and he has rid himself of them almost as desperately.
His darting glance takes in the tumble-down buildings and the fallow, rock-strewn fields. I expect that such expertise would be best sought elsewhere. So how did you manage to cross those three drunks?
I'm afraid that was a matter of misunderstandings and mistranslations. It doesn't help that people in these parts remember their war with Adir like it was yesterday.
Well, you did tell that one man to go fuck his sister. Ah, that. He clears his throat and adjusts his sleeves. As I tried to tell them, they misheard me. Happens all too easily after a few pints, and the accent doesn't help. I heard the same thing. For just a moment, he looks as if he's about to say something else. His expression brightens with mischief, but before he can speak, he forces a tight smile, biting his lips so hard you expect to see blood. Finally, his face relaxes, and he shakes his head. I should speak more clearly next time. My apologies. You don't exactly look like a settler.
Begging your pardon, but neither do you. Yet, circumstances can find a person in the strangest of places.
I should get going.
As should I, given recent events. It's just as well. I've had enough of the watered wine and lumpy beds at the inn. They say even the owner tired of the place. Just up and left one day. It explains quite a lot about the upkeep. Perhaps I could join you. I could use a change of scenery, and I find it's better to travel in numbers.
So do I. Let's go then.
Excellent. I shall follow you.
Alright. We've got a guy to help me take down that damn bear. Awesome. What's your deal? You have a scepter and a rapier and a grimoire, which... Oh, that's how this spells work in this game. I forgot about that. So I forget how spells work. If it's like you get them And you can use them once per encounter or just once until you rest, like Baldur's Gate or what? Yeah, we'll figure it out when we actually get into a fight with them. Oh, wait a minute. Wizards have the ability to learn a staggering number of spells, but they are always limited by the capacity of their grimoire. At any time, a grimoire may only contain 4 spells of each level. Click on a spell on the right panel to remove it from the grimoire. Okay, simple enough. And you are a 2nd level wizard wood elf. Background, deer, gentry. Some per encounter, some per rest. Ah, so it works like the other abilities then. The windows are clouded with the haze of accumulated smoke and cooking grease. Alright, let's check the inn out. Anyone seen Pearly around? He's usually drinking his head off at this hour of the day. Bear might have actually eaten his head by now. Anyone seen Pearly around? He's usually... Okay, you're saying the same thing. Food here's been awful lately. Think rats have gotten into the larder. Might be because nobody cleans this place up. There's crap laying everywhere. Floorboards are sticky with spills that no one has bothered to clean.
How may I help? Don't you have other matters to attend?
Wait, you mean like character? That? Select the elf portrait, you will see number 1 icon. That's your spells per day. To the right of it's per encounter. Yeah, behavior. Ah, okay. I see now, I remember.
Indeed.
Now it's coming back to me.
Yeah.
Starting to be really, like, glad that I actually started this over and didn't decide to just go with my old save and go from there, because I would have had no idea what I was doing and been dealing with high-level monsters, probably. Some kind of brown slop is congealing in these dishes. It smells burnt.
Well met, friend.
Oh, greetings and welcome to the Black Hound Inn. The innkeeper bows her head curtly. Please sit where you like. Would you like a drink or a room? We have 2 available at the moment. I'm afraid we can't offer much by way of a good meal today, she sighs, unless you're fond of cold porridge. I'd like to know more about the Black Hound. Really? Well, let me see. The actual building's been here for years, but the Black Hound's fairly new. We get a lot of new faces in here too, fewer than we used to, I'll admit. I used to work the tables, actually, until the old owner up and left. Nobody's sure what happened to him. Even left his poor hound behind. That's the name, see, the Black Hound. It's still sitting upstairs pining after him. Poor old girl. Place ended up in my hands somehow, she laughs. My very own inn. A lot of hard work involved, but it's been worth it so far. You only serve porridge? Adolf looks at you and shakes his head quickly. It isn't by choice, I assure you. We used to serve some of the finest meals in Deerwood. We've had a damn run of luck is all. It's been a bad season for the crops and we're running low on supplies. I sent Tenfrith up north to stock up. Tenfrith's our cook, you see. An artist with a good roast. But it's been days since he was supposed to return and we haven't seen any sign of him. She sighs again. I've only just taken over from last owner myself. I don't know what I'll do if he doesn't turn up. I wonder if he's the guy that was with that pearly dude who got killed by the bear. I could try to find him for you. Really? Your face brightens. I'd be grateful to you if you did. He was traveling through the Vale Wood. It's probably nothing, a broken wheel maybe. But I do worry. You see him safely home, and I think everyone in here would sing your praises. Nobody much likes my cold porridge. What do you have for sale? Alof opens his mouth but seems to reconsider. Nothing for me, thanks. Of course, we're running a little short on good these days, but we ought to have more soon. Okay, so that's just drinking stuff. Camping supplies too, if I end up needing them.
Welcome.
Reliable help. Oh, well, I wouldn't say I can speak from experience, but we do have certain sorts coming by looking for work from time to time. If you want to hire someone on, I'd be happy to send them your way. Yeah, that's actually one of the things I remembered was the tab button. I was using it earlier. So nice to have that now. I remember back in the days of like Baldur's Gate 1 where I don't think you had any way to highlight anything. Like the original Baldur's Gate 1. If you want to hire someone, be happy to send them on your way. Let's see who you have to work with. Level 1 adventurer. Ooh, you're expensive. I'll forget about that for now. Let's check the back room. Spoons hang by the fire, coated in brownish gunk. Yeah, I'm not gonna steal, it's just alcohol anyway. You just come into town. Kith like you seem to do alright. Wish we had some minstrels in here. Good to see new faces around. Feels like the village gets smaller by the day. Could have something to do with that tree outside. Tuatanu's one of the best smiths in the Deerwood. But his stock's been lousy lately. Feels like we've been seeing more bandits along the roads of late. Careful if you head east. Guards patrol the eastern wood, but not the Black Meadow. And who are you then? Another fool come to answer Raedric's invitation. Our great lord had my sister run out of town after the boy was born. She was the only family I had left. Not sure where she is now. Blazes, I need another drink. You guys are saying the same thing. Well, it's not stealing, so I'll take that. I'll take that. Barathian scripture. Behold, thou faithful, the visage of thy transformation. Fear not the journey when the portal opens. Become one with the wheel, with glad heart and cheery countenance. For the doorway shall open for all in their time. Neither the rich nor influential, neither kings nor rulers, neither the strong nor powerful can escape its embrace. Bareth will usher thee through the doorway, and thou wilt return to life, thy mortal life begun anew. There goeth the cycle, there goeth life, there thou goest also. Thou shalt approach the door, the inevitable shall approach thee. Do not turn back on the portal, do not turn back on new life. Walk the path and welcome change or face the night, for he walks the road with thee and will guide all to their destination. Thou mortal, the skull thou wilt become, thou closed off the key thou shalt turn, thou sealed the threshold thou shalt cross. Beautiful. I'm going to take that with me in case I need it for something or other. As you near, you feel a vibrant history contained in the essence of this woman's soul. Voices from its past seem to call out to you. Reach out for the soul. You see a woman emptying her satchel onto her bed, taking stock of her inventory. Potions, bandages, tinctures, and herbs are scattered throughout her room haphazardly. She bites her lip, head tilted to the side, considering. She begins to repack, one item after another, careful deliberation undercut by shaking hands. Each item has a clearly marked place, but no matter how she repacks it, she isn't satisfied. The shaking worsens as she empties it out once more, one hand held to her mouth. Tears eke from her eyes as she gives up all semblance of order and shoves everything she can in a satchel, grabbing it and running out of the bare house. Straightening her back, she walks to the docks, chin high, eyes hard and red. A gangly young elf offers his condolences, but she can't see him for the ocean ahead of her. She wanders the docks, offering her services as a doctor to any who will listen, anyone heading out on high tide. Less than an hour later, she watches her childhood disappear in the distance, a tiny speck of an island, and tries not to jump. Yeah, I was about to ask about that. I thought they were Kickstarter backers, but I couldn't remember for sure. Whew, some of these are lengthy too. So are any of these like good at all, or is it just kind of like nothing happened in any of them? No, they're not really connected to the story, I guess. Might be something funny in them, though. You see a group of young men standing around a makeshift practice target. This man stands in the middle of them, explaining the construction use of a bow. He holds it up, pointing out each part as he speaks about it and what it does, then walks away from the target, telling them to remain where they are, and takes his place about 200 feet away. He carefully lines up his shot, explaining what he's doing as he does and lets the arrow fly. His target dead center, much to the surprise and delight of the boys near it. He smiles, walking towards the boys, talking about proper stance and how to most effectively hold a bow. Noise comes from the tree line near a practice venue, and he stops, scanning the woods, blue eyes squinting against the sun. Shadow moves, making its way through the forest behind them. He draws an arrow and lines up the shot, carefully tracking the motion of the hidden creature. Loosing the arrow, he wastes no time and quickly grabs another. The boys spin, watching the arrow fly into the forest, immediately lost among the trees. There is a sudden explosive movement in the undergrowth as a deer erupts from the tree line, running across the edge of the clearing. The boys laugh, turning to joke with the man about his lousy shot. They stop talking, seeing him hold the bow and leading the deer with a knocked arrow. They drop to the ground as he looses his last arrow, which flies true and strikes the deer right behind its shoulder, piercing heart and lungs and dropping it dead almost immediately. Boys stare at the deer for a few seconds and then slowly turn to look at the man. You found respect in her eyes. He smiles again and breathes a quiet sigh of relief. Thank you for being here, Adi. Have a good day. Hope to see you again soon. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to read all of these. Some of these are lengthy as hell, especially if they don't have anything to do with the story. Last one standing buys the next round. Grab a drink, friend. Not much else of worth in this town, says the woman from Thene. Hey, we said we wouldn't mention Thene. Okay. Roaches scatter and flee under the crates. Please leave me be. I am full to sickness with what I have seen of this place and its people. 10 years of dawn. I'll take this just in case. Like I said, I may do some kind of like a lore video at some point. Especially for stuff like the books and all that. You see a man soar through the air, hitting a nearby wall with a nauseating crunch. He doesn't get up. His attacker, a burly, clean-cut warrior with a carnivorous grin, turns and shoves his fist into the stomach of another assailant, removing another from the impromptu brawl. The bar is a whirlwind of elbows, knees, fists, and feet, with no end in sight, and he is in his element. In this corner, 3 smaller men speak quietly, throwing malicious glances at the larger men in the center. He breaks a chair over his tattooed head, cackling. The trio position themselves in 3 parts of the room, and with a terse nod they charge. Unfortunately for them, the man sees them coming. Something in his eyes burns brightly, and all 3 slump to the ground in agony. Is that all in their minds? Burly man bows to the room of unconscious and incapacitated before sauntering out, off-key whistling trailing behind him. Shane shakes Morian. You see an emaciated boy in chains, black holes for eyes, staring sightlessly at a wall. A man in a dark cloak walks in, a scroll and oddly shaped quill in his hand. The boy glances at him, expressionless, a corpse waiting for animation. Man clucks at him, disapproval clear in his tone. Boy stands, limbs hanging. The man takes the quill and begins to write on the boy's chest, copying sharp, angular symbols from the scroll. Child doesn't flinch as the quill digs into his skin, drawing blood as it goes. The wizard finishes with a flourish and barks some arcane command, setting the symbols to glow dully. The boy cries out, knees hitting the stone hard, his chest burning black and red. Finally, the glow disappears, leaving only hard black scars etched into his skin. He slumps sideways, twitching, eyes facing the back of his skull. The wizard grunts, kicking him on the leg on his way out. The boy lies on the floor until dawn, eyes still black like holes, the twitches growing into convulsive shakes. How long is this one? Yeah, I'm gonna skip that. That's got nothing to do with the actual story. That's just like fan fiction almost. These bones are covered in tiny bite marks. Hey, little doggy. This hound stares intently at the covered window, head cocked as if waiting to hear a particular sound. It looks up when you approach and whines a low note, tail wagging slightly. I could use a good dog. Here, girl. Dog's ears perk up. It trots over to you and barks happily. You've gained an item. Black hound added to inventory. Okay, right click for details. Small dog has a glossy black cloak and an affable disposition. She trots along at your heels, gazing up devotedly whenever you come to a stop. Okay, so I have a pet slot now. What's with the giant miniature space piglet? Oh, I got like a ghostly looking pig follow me now. Okay. Well, I'm going to actually take the dog. I have 3 hanging out behind me. What's the 4th? Did I go in this room? I didn't go in this room, did I? Got tied up with all these gold name people. Alright. Crammed behind the books is a drawing that shows Eothas and Lord Raedric in a compromising position. Scandalous. The Deerwood Part 1, Early Colonial History. Yeah, definitely not going to read all these right now, these books. I heard they fended off another attack on Lord Raedric's keep. Then I told her that's not the pistol. Alright. Were we up? Well, no, we weren't up this way. Poor Afra is so worried about her child, I don't blame her. It's a big area. Alright. Slox the Usurper. And Clink. So I wonder if the gold name people are in the second game too. Used to have a lot more fortune tellers come through. Lord Raedric had us chase them off. Hi, I'm a stranger. Come enter your house. Nice cat. This worn dog-eared book is titled Travels Upon the Kelgless Sea. There's an etched illustration of a vast fin leviathan. A dear wooden woman is standing in front of the fireplace, humming a quiet tune to herself or perhaps to her unborn child, for she is clearly quite pregnant. She turns her head slightly as you enter.
Welcome.
Well, finally, I was starting to think. The woman makes a startled noise when she turns around and sees you. Oh, I'm sorry, I was expecting someone else. She gives you a cautious smile. Can I help you? I just arrived in Gilded Vale. I thought I'd get to know the locals. Were you with one of the caravans? She looks at you hopefully. Master Odima's by chance. I was, yes. I'm afraid the rest of the caravans... Wait a minute. Why do you ask? My sister Kaliska... Oh... Shoot. My sister Kaliska is traveling with one of the caravans. She sent a letter before she came. Says she was going to pay her way by working as a guard for the caravan master. She always was a tough one. She pauses. I don't suppose you've seen her on the road, or the caravan perhaps, as Master Odima's. The caravan was attacked and we escaped, but Kaliska was caught in a bivouac. Afra covers her mouth with a hand, eyes wide with horror. For a few moments she can manage nothing but a strangled, voiceless gasping, her eyes brimming with tears. I knew. I told her it was a dangerous path to take. Kaliska was always so certain she could take on any danger. Afra sniffs. Oh, my poor sister. I'm sorry, stranger, I can't believe she's gone. If only I hadn't called her here. If I hadn't written to her, she might still be alive somewhere. Afra's face crumples and a solitary tear slides down her cheek. Why did you send for Kaliska? Afra wipes at her eyes. I'm worried about the baby, about the legacy. I told Kaliska as much as I could, but all I know is that for a long time now, every child born in Gilded Vale has been soulless, empty. It's happened to so many mothers, and Lord Raedric, he's exiled all of them, calling it a sign of the gods' disfavor. She sniffs. With my Hathhort gone, I don't know how I'd manage if I lost my home too. I hope Kaliska could help me. They say Ranga, the old midwife, knows a way to prevent a child being hollowborn. But she moved south to Anslog's Compass 2 seasons ago. The journey's too far for me. I can't make it as I am. But I don't have anyone else now with Kaliska gone. More tears run down her face. Please, can you help me? I'll find Ranga for you. Afra blinks, eyes wide. You will? Oh, gods bless you. Here, I'll give you coin to pay her with. You needn't trouble yourself with that. I think it's a drink she fashions out of, well, I'm not sure, but it shouldn't be too much of a burden to carry back. I've gained 20 copper. I've earned reputation. Members of that group respond to you. In some cases, friends or enemies, those groups... Okay, I remember that. Anslock's compass is what we call a lagoon to the south. You'll have to cross the wilds to get there. That's what keeps me from trying it myself. She claps her hands together. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you again, truly. You'll be saving us both. She sets a hand on her stomach, smiling through her tears. I need a drink. I'm doing a lot of reading. Like, you come from Ultimate Quest of the Avatar, where everybody has, like, maybe 2 lines of dialogue at the most, and then you come to this. Whew. Is it stealing if I rob your barrel? Yeah. Alright. You're pregnant. I won't take your stuff. I'm not that kind of a person. That's Clink and his buddy. Okay, so I think I've been up here. That's the way we came in. You ever been to Defiance Bay? With roads like they are, I'll stay put. Okay, you guys are just villagers talking. Flowers. Bear a spell. Child. This temple used to be closed up. I used to climb on the big stones. Well, surely there can be nothing bad down here. Oh boy, what's your deal, Wharton? Man lies resting against the wall, lit by the dim illumination of the fading sconces. He has a gaunt fox-like aspect, and his face is pale and damp with sweat. One arm is held loosely against his side, sleeve soaked with blood. He gives you an anxious glance as you near, his features twisted with pain. Have a care if you mean to go in. He casts a quick look towards the doorway to his left. This place is not so empty as I thought. His tempo isn't what it used to be, probably for the best. Times being as they are. He groans and shifts positions, wincing. I'm no looter, if that's what you're thinking. Not one of the faithful either, just wanted to do some good, I suppose. Got my arm clawed up for it. He regards you warily. Maybe you'll have better luck. Better luck with what? Man points a finger upward. These ruins around us used to be a temple of Eothas, a scattered god. A grand temple at that. His worshippers would come from all over the Deerwood, from Riceris even. Until the war, of course. Even then, you'd get some of the stubborn ones. The ones that couldn't get it through their heads that their god was dead and gone. Go on. Once the legacy started, Lord Raedric decided he'd been too lenient on the Eothasians. I cannot say half these words. He had his people go in and put them to the sword. Left them down there, buried under a heap of rock. After that, Raedric ordered the temple sealed. It's been years like that, up until recently. Lord Raedric hopes that if we rededicate the temple to a living god, then we'll be forgiven, and the legacy will end, see? He smiles wryly. But until then, the temple is, as you see it, unguarded. That's where you come in. Wharton licks his lips. Those priests, maybe they didn't have a lick of sense between them, but they still didn't deserve to go out like that. Chopped down in their god's house, it doesn't sit right with me. If you can get down there, find their remains, maybe we can finally give them a proper burial, Wharton breathes out. No small task, there's coin in it for you if you need motivating. Alos's cautious expression softens, a pleasant surprise to see that someone around here has a shred of respect for the dead. I take it you aren't supposed to be in here. Wharton laughs bleakly. Well, I meant to be in and out nice and quick. It's not hurting anyone, it's just Lord Raedric's forbidden anyone having anything to do with the Scattered God. It'd be a little harder to explain to him than you. It's a good cause, though, isn't it? You can make some coin in the process. I have some questions first. Who are you, anyway? Wharton offers you a weak grin. Name's Wharton. I've lived in Gildavale long enough to remember how grand it used to be. He shrugs and looks away. I used to help the temple sometimes, bring supplies, that's all. Won't Lord Raedric mind us digging around down here? Not that I care that much for him. I wouldn't go telling him about it. Lingering in these places is no good for anyone, but you do this quick and quiet, and you can do right by those priests without raising a fuss. Any chance there's something down here worth a little more than some old bones? Wharton looks around. Probably. Nobody's been through the place since it was sealed up. Well, apart from me, and I didn't touch anything. Any valuables in there, you get first crack at them. I only ask that you do this favor for me while you're at it. Why can't you do this yourself? Well, I tried. Only got a short ways in before I got in over my head. Wharton grimaces. I haven't raised a blade in a long time. Turns out it isn't something you can just pick up again, but you look like you can handle yourself. I have no more questions. Wharton nods. Then, what do you say? I'll find him. Then by the flame, I owe you a good turn. But listen, the temple's been sealed off for so long, it's crawling with creatures, but if you get past them, the priests would have been down on the lower level. They'll be there still if they're anywhere. Those priests had all kinds of secret chambers, switches in the walls, trick sconces, that kind of thing. Keep an eye out. Take care down there. Wouldn't want to have to send someone else after your remains. I'll wait here by the stairs and keep a lookout, maybe try to patch myself up some. Alright, you do that, because I'm not going down here right this second. I will add it to my to-do list, though. Theo Phalion. It's a house that has no door to it, apparently. And you're just a villager. Ronan Turonian. Oh, this one's short. You see a group of people standing around a wagon transfixed on the sword as it swings in a large, graceful arc. This man holds the sword, passing it from hand to hand with a relaxed ease, making the blade dance in front of his audience. He tosses it into the air, spins, and puts his arm behind it to catch it. The crowd claps excitedly, and a couple of them gasp, certain they were about to see a tragedy. Hugo, on the other hand, has a very large backer story to tell you. Villager. And that's way out. Did you hear the bells? Bad news, I think. Careful if you head east. Guards patrol the Easterwood, but not the Black Mook. Hey, somebody said that to me already. Black Hammer Smithery. That shifty little Orlin better watch himself. Don't tell and this guy's name messes me up. Tuatanu. But I think Dunstan over in First Fires might have the edge on him. The bellows sigh into the furnace and the coals burn brighter still. Ooh, hey, I can take from this and not steal. Daily affirmations of focus and efficiency. Do we take it? Yeah. Do Egan Steel Collar. Harlan Rinson. Yeah, those are way too long to be reading. Especially if they don't have anything to do with anything. This Almoan man of an impressive build towering over the countertop. His skin is the dusky blue of the deeper oceans and his thick arms boast corded muscle. Small ears frame a square-jawed face coated in smeared soot and arcing black tattoos alike. He offers you a broad smile as you approach. Welcome. You're the first new face I've seen in quite some time. What can I do for you? What do you have here? Come to us at a strange time. I'm afraid the stock's not what it used to be, but we've fine weapons and armor to offer yet, all forged here at the Black Hammer. What happened? We just don't have the supplies. Been expecting next delivery for near on a week now, and haven't seen a sign of it. Have to expect they were hit by bandits. The road out east is crawling with them. Or my workers ran off with the wagon themselves, maybe, to make some coin. Taltanu snouts, as if that lot would dare. I say snouts, snorts. He's right about the bandits. The dire situations in villages like this and the exodus to the cities has created far too many opportunities for unscrupulous sorts. Taltanu scratches his jaw, thinking. If you happen to be heading that way, maybe you could keep an eye out for a supply wagon, or my shipment at least. They'd be cutting through the Black Meadow, I expect, on the good road for it. As it is, most of our weapons go to His Grace, Lord Raedric. Taltanu glances at the nearby guard. And that's as it should be, but it doesn't leave much for outsiders. We just don't have the iron. Where was the wagon traveling from? We send the wagon up to New Heomar with weapons and swings around through Log Home and the like to purchase supplies. Shortest route back is through the Black Meadow and then north through the wilds. Taltanu shakes his head. Had a trader come through with word they'd made it to Log Home, but haven't heard of things since. I'll find your supplies. Taltanu nods. Then you have my thanks. You bring these supplies back and I'll have plenty more to offer you, a discount to start. Oh, and if you find my workers, tell them to hurry it up, or they could take up farming instead.
Well met, friend.
What do you got for wares? Of course you won't find finer anywhere else. Ooh, you got like special stuff. Gina's Lance, Hold Wall, Azurith Stiletto. Some magical stuff, none of which I can afford. Ooh, but I don't have a ton of gold. Actually, yeah, I do. I could sell some of this stuff I don't need. Small shield. I think anything that's magical is highlighted, so all this stuff. Wait, battle axe. One-handed. Wait, where'd it go? Where's that stuff going when I click on it? I don't need that stuff. I actually need to hold on to the helmets for a moment. I'm going to trade this stuff. Hold up, though. Where did my... Oh, I must have added it to my inventory. Hide armor. Small shield. Save the torch. Get rid of the sword. Get rid of the shield. Get rid of the quarterstaff. Get rid of the mace. Battle axe. 10 to 15, 13 to 18 accuracy versus deflection. It's a little bit slower. Bonus crit damage. Switch out one of the hatchets for it. All right.
Traveler.
Trade from here. I'll give you all that junk. And in return, I want to buy... because I know I'm going to end up needing this at some point. A pry bar. Rope and grappling hook for that wall that was in that area we were at. And we'll go with that. Alright, and it looks like that's it for in here. It's a very big town. Road east. So I got like 5 buildings to check out, and I'm not sure these ones that don't have markers are actually anything or not. So let's check out up here. Nothing. Naunton. Where have I heard that name before? This man and woman appear to have been deep in conversation, working at closing 2 bulging satchels. They move to embrace until the woman notices your approach and pauses, her smile faltering a little.
Hail and well met.
Can we help you? She looks to her companion, brows furrowing with confusion. Do you know this man, Naunton? Naunton coughs. Yes, I think we met in the Valen Wood. I warned him about the bear. Oh, okay, I remember you now. He inclines his head. Glad to see you've made it. Was there something else you wanted? You two seem to be in a hurry. Yes, I imagine so. Ingroid laughs. We're packing for a trip, actually. I've been meaning to visit Defiance Bay, and she looks at Naunton. Well, in truth, I think I've had my fill of this town. Naunton reaches to take her hand. It's time for some new scenery, he says. Is there anything you could tell me about Guildville? And Growood smiles wryly. Only that you'll want to be moving on as soon as you can. You've seen the tree. You'll have seen the tree, I imagine, but the rock goes deeper. If you're looking for work, I'd say you have a better chance of it elsewhere. We're headed for Defiance Bay ourselves, Naunton adds. Goodbye.
Hail, traveler. Gods keep you.
Okay, so I can't talk to Naunton. Well, there's obviously something suspicious going on around here. And since I believe there's something suspicious around here, I'm not going to feel any guilt about robbing you. This bottle will soon read is half empty. The Deerwood Part 2. Let's take that. Alright. Something tells me I need to go deal with that bear before I'm going to get any answers about this. I have not forgotten about the bear. Let me check these two houses up here to see if they're actually anything or not. Well, they got doors. Kara Eloth. Huh. And Eldwin Proisturm. Yeah, way too long. Rats scurry behind the sacks. Oh, apparently I would be stealing from these backers if I were to take anything off those tables. Fine, I'll steal their damn gold rot. Chew. Instant. Removes gold... Wait. User. Remove gold rot. Chew. Crash. +1 move speed. +3 might. -2 perception for 600 seconds. Might be worth using for added attack power if I get desperate. Despite the rains, the stalks feel as dry and stiff as a locust husk. This exits out. I say Wilt Chamberlain. Oh, Doran Chamberlain. Okay, this house has no door to it. Tis a windmill. Despite the rains, okay, it's the same as the other ones. Barrow spell. Another villager. Cows. Villager. I check out this house. This house doesn't have a door either, it looks like. I can't talk to the cows. How disappointing. Alright, let's check out the windmill. That should be the last building in this place. We know there's more grain in there, Trumbull. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat on our crops. A muffled shouting emerges from inside the mill. The first of you drunkards comes through that door gets a shot between the eyes. Gods hear me, Swainer, I'll put you down like a dog. Shh, let's not talk about dogs like that. I have one walking with me. Come away for now, lads. But we'll be back, Trumbull, and we'll have fair prices, or by the flame, we'll have a reckoning. Settler's Arrow. Believe there's anything else around here now. Alright. Boy, I could just walk in the front door. Do those guys consider just walking through the front door like that? An elven man stands before you, his relatively stocky build suggesting a life of labor. His face is pale and drawn and his eyes wide. Behind him, a younger man and woman exchange worried glances. The miller raises a club as you enter, shakes violently in his grip. Get back if you value your life. Hold on, I'm not here to hurt anyone. The miller hesitates and lowers the club a fraction. Who are you? Is Swainer roping foreigners into his little crusade now? What was all that? Oh, wait. My name is Liquid. I've only just arrived in Gildavale. Trumbull shakes his head. You picked a bad time to come visiting. Gildavale's had all its shine scraped off, just a big dung heap now, and Swainor thinks he's king of it. They're all of them mad. Who's Swainor? The dwarf, the one standing out there spreading lies among the villagers. Bastard's been here for decades, and he hasn't gotten any kinder with time. Thought you could use some help. Those people out there seem pretty angry. Really? Trumbull sighs relief. Highly as tits. Could I use a friendly face? Highly as tits. I'm gonna have to remember that one. I take it you heard some part of what that crowd's asking for. Grain, as if I've got it all tucked away somewhere. Swainer's been egging that lot on for days now. They've been keeping clear so far. Excuse me. But if things keep on like they are, I don't know how much longer we've got before things get messy. Please, if you're not here on his behalf, maybe you could speak to Swainer. He won't listen to me anymore. Just explain that we're all getting smaller rations now. We're all making sacrifices. Need some water. It's the most reading out loud I've done in a long time. I have some other questions. Yes. What was all that ruckus outside? Trumbull shakes his head. Where to begin? Swainer's whipped them up into a froth, going on about the grain stores. Claims I've hidden most of it away. All I do with the grain is sell it. I can't create it out of thin air, and I can't hand it out for free. I pay the farmers for the crops they bring in, and I sell what comes out of the mill. Most of it goes to the Black Hound on the west side of town for ale, and Swainer and his lot sure don't mind that part. You take a look at the fields on the way into town. The crop's blighted. Most of what I'm getting from the farmers, Trumbull gestures to the sacks and containers, has gone off, rotted through. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I've got barely enough good grain to go around. Swainer's howling after things he has no right to. Maybe I ought to go have a talk with Swainer then. The miller all but sags with relief. I'd be grateful if you did. He won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having a hard time of it, and we'll all have to make some sacrifices. We'll be in your debt for it if you can convince him. Solve the feud, okay. My father's a good man. He's always done right by the town. I'm sure Father can explain better what just happened here.
Hail and well night.
Seems like a pretty clean story for a messy situation. Trumbull frowns. It's not. He pauses. Look, Swainer's always been a rotten bastard. With stores so limited, maybe I could save the good stuff for people who deserve it. Afra, for instance. She's expecting a child. Should I let her starve instead? Do the villagers know about the grain supply? Trumbull looks embarrassed. Sam, the innkeeper, for instance. It's better not to worry anymore. Anyone. I'll be trading for supplies soon enough. If we can just keep things calm until then, we'll be in the clear. The innkeeper? Trumbull winces. I wouldn't drink the ale, is all I'm saying. I have no more questions.
Welcome.
Okay. So I wonder where the heck Swainer's even at now. Thank you for the follow, Maddox. Very, very much appreciate it. Afra. Maybe he's at the inn. Yeah, this one's been on my list for a long time. I actually, funny enough, this was the first game I was ever going to stream. And my laptop couldn't handle playing it and streaming it at the same time. So this was kind of a long time coming. Yeah, let's try the tavern. And I'll probably do the sequel too, not long after. So many games to play, so little time. Yeah, it feels very Baldur's Gate, and I love Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate might have been my favorite game series of all time. Cool, because I'll probably have to take you up on that offer. I remember, like, I played this a while back, but it's been so long I don't remember too much. Alright, where in the heck is... Here's who I'm looking for.
Gods keep you.
Don't know who you are and don't much care. Keep walking. We're not here to chat with foreigners. Oh, you're friendly. Aloth narrows his eyes. Careful. Looks like they're cut from the same cloth as those rowdies who attacked me. He wrinkles his nose. Smells like it too. Trumbull says you've been threatening his family. Oh, I bet he has. All nobility, that Trumbull. 2 big, strong kids, purest soul in all Guild of Vale. Dwarf sneers. Coward sending out messengers to handle his business? Well, you can go and tell him we haven't had a solid meal in days on account of him, and we can't afford a good drink on account of him. But we won't be bullied by some foreigner on account of him. What if I buy you all around? Will you talk to me then? Swainer considers it briefly. He looks to the others. Fair enough. You bring us something to wet our throats, and it might be I'll feel up to trading words. Oh, you want me to actually get you to drink too? Jeez. Said I'd pay for you, not fetch it for you.
Hail and well met.
Hello, anything I could do for you? We still have rooms open. It's never too early for a drink. I'd like to buy a round for the fine fellows over there. Those fine, nice people. Fine fellows, you're having me on. Any more fighting and I'll have to ban Swainer from the inn entirely. The innkeeper frowns. Until then, it's 6 copper pieces for the lot. Okay. Right then. Here's 3 drinks for 3 fools. Just take care with them. They're a hot-tempered bunch. I have like an axe in each hand as I'm buying these drinks, lady. I'll be alright. You again. What do you want now? Bought your drinks. Hey, so you have. By the flame, I never thought I'd be so happy for a mug of the Black Hound's shit beer. Gods, that's good. Alright then, you've got my attention. What is it you've got to say that's worth a round of drinks? Maybe you could tell me more about what's going on. It's like I said, the miller's in charge of the grain prices. He says they're fair, but I know for a fact that folks like Afra pay half what we do, a dwarf size. And maybe we've been a bit rough on them, but what are we supposed to do? We can't keep paying. We're going to starve. Do you think Trumbull's going to be sorry about it when we do? Look, there's no sense in threatening the miller. You have him up against a wall. Maybe you could ask some of the other villagers for help. Swainer eyes you for a few long moments, drinking deep from his mug. Then he sighs. You're right. If things go on like they are, we're just going to end up hanging from that tree out there. He looks to his comrades. Tell Trumbull we'll leave him be. Boy, that was easy. Did I pass some kind of like check or something for that? Don't know what we'll do now with the crops failing. Haven't got another trade to speak of. Think Pasca needs a hand around the inn? You've made your point. Leave us alone, will you? Good thing them rich folks have you to help them out, eh? If you're not an ale, I don't have business with you. Alright, let's go back and take care of that. And that's one less quest I gotta worry about. Hey, I handled your issue without even trying.
Welcome.
Have you had any luck with Swainer? I spoke to Swainer. Trumbull takes a deep breath. And what did he say? I convinced him to leave your family in peace. Why, that's great news. I wasn't sure you'd get through to them. They're out of their minds to drink half the time. I owe you a great debt. Here. He pulls a coin purse from his hip and pushes it towards you. Today's earnings to show my appreciation. You can be sure I'll let everyone know what you've done for me. Glad to help. Now we stand a chance of getting through the year. Trumbull smiles broadly. All thanks to you. Safe travels, friend. Thank you, giving us a chance to turn things around. I'm glad you convinced them. Last thing we need is our grain stores burned down by a drunk. Alright, so... that's the main quest. That's White Marsh. Alright, so the Black Meadow. We got that shipment thing. Search the temple. And travel to Anslog's Compass and speak to that Mother Ranga for a pregnant lady. Blackhound Inn has lost his beloved cook. And we still got that bear thing. Actually, wait, one more thing. Because I think... yeah, go for it. Actually, I do have a question. Doesn't Eater or whatever his name is join you here? Or is he join when you go to leave town or something? Go with the main quest for a bit. Ah, okay. Rest in the inn. Like, I remembered getting that one dude here. I just wasn't sure how you go about doing it. Alright.
How do you do?
I would like a room, please. Of course, we keep them nice and tidy. Lasts for 2 rests. How much money do I have? Perception is important. I seem to remember reading that somewhere. We're going to go for laborer's rest. I'm sure I'll get more money later. Your sleep is restless and fevered, salted by hisses and whispers, blanketed with a suffocating anxiety. You open your eyes to awaken and find yourself in front of Gilded Vale's gallows tree, the creaking of its ropes growing louder in your mind until the sound is deafening. Hanging from the tree is an old dwarf woman whose face has shriveled inward like moldering fruit. Her head hangs limply to one side. As you look at her, she looms larger and larger in your mind until she is mere inches from your face. Well, thanks for that. Funny thing is, I just built a PC like a couple weeks back, a gaming PC. Up until then, I was using a laptop. So I didn't even have like an actual mic until now. I was using like a headset mic, and the quality wasn't as good, I don't think. I'm actually getting used to using a microphone now, so if my voice is actually coming across that good, that's awesome. It's actually the first time I've really even used a mic for anything before. Suddenly her head snaps up and her eyes open and they're empty, and behind them is a vast nothingness that makes your stomach drop. Her mouth slowly parts, and with a gust of rancid air she speaks a word. Watcher. You jolt awake, the foul smell of the dwarf woman's breath still permeating your nostrils. Sweat runs down your face in thick droplets, and your skin is soaked from head to toe. You remember the woman. You remember seeing her decaying face when you spoke with the magistrate. He called her an animaster. Though it fills you with a new queasy apprehension, you feel a strange compulsion to see this woman once more, if only to confirm she is truly dead. Well, thanks again. Yeah, funny thing about this, I mentioned it before, but I pretty much have played nothing but retro games since I started streaming. And my plan is to kind of go back and forth between doing stuff that's a little bit more modern like this and then retro stuff too. Because there's a lot of stuff I want to play in both categories. But with the retro stuff, you don't read as much. Like, I was playing Ultima Quest of the Avatar for the NES the other day, and like, I'm so used to everybody saying like a line or two that when you get into a game like this and you have so much to read, it's like, damn. My voice is holding up though, so that's good. Actually figured I would have lost it by now. Villagers. Villagers. Yeah, I was actually going to read all that Kickstart backer stuff, but then I was like, no. Not unless I'm going to do some kind of a special video and like read that separately in it or something. Forget it. Yeah, and see, I actually, when I was in high school, I needed a certain amount of credits, obviously. So I was like, what's the easiest thing I could take that'll get me some credits without me having to take something super complicated like French 3 or something like that? So I took speed reading. I'm actually really good at speed reading. I can glance through something really quick and pick up most everything I need to know from it. Alright, so wait a minute. Find a dwarf woman from your dream. Okay, I think I remember this part now. I need to get to the tree. There you are. I remember this now. Hey, how's it going? The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bow that sags at the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her to cast no light on its surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it. And you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it, not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out toward the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman. And when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog, her body still swaying in a wind you no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you. Have you come
here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost?
Well, God,
it is both, I think. Yes?
I'll just shut up and let you take over, lady. Jeez. Am I imagining this?
No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy, even, to not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I, wherever here may be.
How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
I need to understand something that's happening to me. Has happened to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face as though consoling a child.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there.
She nods.
You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
What's a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair. And here we are, visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on. Some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on, and those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either leaving or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how. A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
What do you mean, when all goes well?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
She smiles at you reassuringly, fanning out a tuft of long whiskers that sprouts from one of her cheeks.
You should see old Meerwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
I remember that place. That's the, stronghold place you get. I think I survived a beer whack. Do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing. Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me, no?
You said souls break apart over time?
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
I want to know something about you.
Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
Who are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because this was where help was needed.
What happened to you, other than, the obvious? She laughs, a raspy, choked cackle escaping from between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing her blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now. Such a question. As though the answer were plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer. Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
Tell me.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
What's an animancer?
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been made. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us? The best? Inspirations, miracle workers. My parents were soul twins, miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other, turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid. It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
Oh, shoot. Give me a second. I missed a call from somebody. I gotta take it real quick. Alright, sorry.
Of course, dear. Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldara closes her eyes and her head slumps forward over the noose, and your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. Liquid was granted Crucible of the Soul. Alof looks at you through narrowed eyes. Are you alright? You seemed lost just now. I'm a watcher. His arched eyebrows recede into his hood. Well, that is interesting. He gives you a sly grin. I expect this has something to do with the hooded figures in the ruins, In any case, I appreciate your honesty. Since we're traveling together, it's probably wise for us to share these things. Do you know anything about Watchers? Only that they're rare and that they seem to have unique insights into certain soul conditions. He coughs, as you just demonstrated. Let's continue on. Okay, I'm going to save it.